What's up guys, Maelstrom here. If be sure to like, subscribe and leave a comment. Without further ado, let's begin. Naruto Namikaze, a genius in his own right, and wielder of an ancient and deadly power. This is his tale, his journey. And you, what? And Naruto asked, his face pale. Minato, who was too focused on smiling at the boy's twin, didn't notice the flash of purple in his son's eyes. And I said, I've decided that Hikari will succeed me as the heir to the Namikaze clan. And Kushina froze in her seat, sparing a glance at her shell-shocked son before giving her husband a cautious look. And are you sure, Minato? This is a sudden decision. And Hikari shifted nervously, looking worriedly at her brother who hadn't moved at all, and said, and yeah papa, I'm not sure this is the best. And Minato grinned, and of course I'm sure. You're going to be incredibly powerful one day, I can't think of a better choice. And Kushina suddenly noticed Naruto's whole body shaking, but as she went to place a comforting hand on his shoulder, not at all agreeing with her husband's decision, Naruto's head shot up, and Kushina gasped as she saw his eyes change from their beautiful cerulean to light purple, several dark curved lines surrounding his pupils. The only warning Minato had was Naruto's enraged roar before he was sent flying out of the house, the entire wall being sent with him. Kushina rushed over to his side, saying in a panicked voice, and Minato, are you okay? And the Hokage nodded, quickly coming to his senses, and replied, and I think so. What the hell was that? And before she could respond, however, Minato saw his son standing where the wall had been, his whole body shaking in rage, hair wild, eyes blazing with, and the Rinnegan. And Kushina's body stiffened, and but how? And Minato shakily stood up. And I have no idea, but we need to calm him down. And Kushina nodded, clutching her chest and calling out to her only son, and Naruto, sweetie, please try and calm down. And Naruto, however, wasn't listening. Instead, his focus was solely on his father. And grargh, and the young Namikaze roared, his eyes once again blazing as he thrust a hand outward, making Minato's body jerked forwards, as an arm sprouted from the boy's back, contorting into a flesh-like cannon that then launched a missile right at the yellow flash, who barely had enough strength to form a Rasengan, the resulting explosion from the collision sending him flying back. And as such power. And Minato groaned, struggling to sit up. Kushina fought through her tears, shifting through hand seals and yelling, and adamantine sealing chains, and chakra chains sprouted from her back, wrapping around Naruto as 6 Anbu quickly moved to subdue the raging boy. To their utter horror, however, he merely screamed again and an invisible force repelled away both the Anbu and the chains, sending everyone flying. Kushina looked at her son with fresh tears pouring down her face, and Naruto, sweetie, please. And Naruto clearly wasn't listening, however, as his eyes had never left his father. Once again Minato felt the tug on his body, and he was flung towards the boy, whose stomach had produced yet another mysterious arm, this one taking the form of a blade. And Minato, and yelled Kushina in fear. And damn it, can't move. But if try and use the Rasengan from this distance I'll kill him. And Minato panicked internally, growing dangerously close to the outstretched blade. Suddenly, however, Hikari tackled her twin in a tight hug, screaming out, and quat, Naru, please stop, and quat, all at once it was over. The anger left Naruto, and Minato fell straight to the ground. He looked up to see the mysterious limbs on his son, retracting back into the boy's body, his eyes drooping as he collapsed in his sister's arms. Kushina rushed to collect her only son from Hikari's grasp, cradling him in her arms, placing a gentle kiss on his forehead. A beaten and baffled Minato swiftly checked that the Anbu were unharmed before flashing to his wife's side, looking at his son in awe, and quat, that was, and quat, Kushina glared at him, and quat, not one word, and quat, a very distressed Hikari ran to her brother's side, tears falling down her face as she gazed at his pale and sweating form. And quat, Mama, he looks really sick, and quat, Kushina gripped her son even tighter, and quat, we need to get him to Tsunade, and quat, Minato nodded, leaning down and saying, and quat, I'll take him, I can get there faster than anyone, and quat, Konoha Hospital. 5 hours later Minato and Kushina sat patiently outside the emergency room, Hikari curled up asleep beside them in a chair. Minato sighed, before glancing at his wife, and quat, those eyes, they're dangerous. I think we should seal them. And quat, he was cut short by the hard slap Kushina drove across his face, and quat, our son is in critical condition, and all you can think about are his damn eyes, and quat, Minato touched his cheek, and quat, Kushina, and quat, Kushina glared at him, and quat, don't you dare. You stupid man, this is all your fault anyway, and quat, Minato was taken aback, and quat, what, and quat, Kushina's harsh gaze never faltered, and quat, Naruto has idolized you for years. And you've never even given him the time of day. If you aren't doting on Hikari, then you're immersing yourself in playtime with Keiko, Natsumi or Momo. He's been working himself to the bone every day getting stronger, in the hope that you'd finally notice him. And quat, Minato was stunned, and quat, and quat, did you know that Naruto's test scores and overall performance were so good he could have graduated much earlier? The only reason he even stayed in the academy was because he didn't want to leave his sister or Sasuke all alone. He mastered tree walking and water walking when he was only 8. He wanted to show you. But you were too busy with your damned Hokage duties to even spare him a moment. He was so crushed. When he came home, he didn't come out of his room that entire weekend. He's been saying for years how it was his dream to one day succeed you as Hokage and become a worthy leader to the Namikaze name. It's his birthright, Minato, and you took that away from him. And quat, Minato's face dropped. And quat, I didn't realize. And quat, Kushina pulled her hair in frustration, and quat, of course not. You thought it more prudent to focus on your Jinchuriki daughter and the younger ones than the son that just wanted your approval. And now that Naruto's awakened a power so rare it's said to only appear once every few generations, your first reaction is to take that from him. And quat, Minato sighed, rubbing the back of his neck, and quat, you're right. I'm just worried, Kushina. Those eyes, the destructive power they hold, it could be lethal to the village if he loses control. And quat, another hard slap hit his face, and as he looked back in confusion, he paled at the sight of his seething wife, and quat, for once, just be a father, not the Hokage, you bastard. And quat, Hikari jerked awake, and looked at her mother in fear. And quat, Mama, and quat, Kushina's expression softened, and she pulled her daughter into her lap. And quat, it's okay baby, I'm sorry I woke you. Go back to sleep now. And quat, Hikari yawned, and placed her head on her mother's shoulder. Minato looked down in shame, his wife's words ringing in his head. And quote, she's right. I'm not even really thinking like a real Hokage anyway, let alone a father. The power of the Kyuubi in my daughter and my wife is equally dangerous. I should be nurturing Naruto's new abilities, not locking them away. Besides, I'm not even sure how to lock something that potent away. And quote, a short time later, Tsunade wearily made her way over to the group, and sighed, and quote, he's asleep for now. The damage wasn't too extensive, just some torn muscles and strained ligaments. He was mainly just exhausted. However, the psychological toll is what I'm worried about. What happened? And quote, Minato gulped, and quote, well, it all started when I said I was naming Hikari as my successor. And quote, once again, he never finished his sentence as Tsunade's fist connected with the top of his skull, and quote, you did what? Naruto's been working towards that goal since he was old enough to talk. And quote, Minato clutched his skull, and quote, I'm sorry. Anyway, he lost it on me. That's when those eyes appeared. Their power is frightening. And quote, Tsunade pinched the bridge of her nose, and quote, you damn fool. Jiraiya told me that the Rinnegan only manifests itself under extreme stress and psychological trauma. You basically forced the eyes to come into fruition. And quote, Minato gaped at her, and quote, I did. And quote, Tsunade glared at him, and quote, go home, Minato. The last thing Naruto needs is to see your face when he wakes up. And quote, several days later, Konoha Hospital. Minato steeled himself as he stood outside the door to his son's room. It had already been days since the incident, and he had been going over everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure news of Naruto's new powers did not get out. Currently the only ones who were aware were himself, Kushina, Hikari, Tsunade, Shizune, and the 6 Anbu who had rushed to his aid that night, and that's how it would stay. The last thing Minato needed was that bastard Danzo trying to get his hands on Naruto. Kushina had informed him that morning that his son was ready to see him, and Minato wasted no time in flashing over to the hospital. Now that he was outside the door, however, he had no idea what to say. He was brought out of his thoughts when a tired voice from the other side of the door called out, and quote, you might as well come in, Dad. I know you're out there. And quote, Minato opened the door and smiled sheepishly. And quote, how'd you guess? And quote, Naruto rolled his eyes, and quote, your hair's kind of a dead giveaway. And quote, Minato sweat dropped, and quote, oh. Forgot those doors had tinted windows. And quote, Naruto folded his arms, looking out the window distantly, and asked quietly. And quote, why did you make Hikari your successor? And quote, Minato sighed, and sat down in the chair beside his son's bed, and quote, because I've been a pretty bad excuse for a dad, that's why. And quote, Naruto shook his head, and quote, if this is about you never spending time with me, I get it. You're Hokage, you're busy. And quote, Minato looked away guiltily, and quote, I made time for the girls. I'm not going to make excuses, Naruto. I've been a pretty poor father, and I ignored my only son. I did something that caused you so much pain. I'm so sorry. And quote, Naruto bit his lip. And quote, it's fine, Dad, I understand. And quote, Minato looked at his son, and pulled him into a firm hug, stunning the boy as the young Hokage said, and quote, it's not fine. I love you, son, I do. Your mother told me how hard you've been working, how smart you really are. I'm so sorry I never noticed before. Did you know Hikari told me that she refused to be my heir? Told me to stick it where the sun don't shine. I guess she's more of a mama's girl than I thought, and quote. Naruto couldn't help but smile as he hugged his father tightly, before pulling back with a quizzical look and saying, and quote. But wait, who's going to succeed you then? And quote. Minato smiled softly, and quote. The only child it should ever be. The one who's going to take my Hokage hat from me one day. And quote. Naruto teared up slightly, and quote. You mean? And quote. Minato grinned, and quote. Don't look so surprised. Once your mother and Tsunade beat some sense into me, I realized my own bumbling ineptitude, and realized I'd been overlooking a genuine prodigy in my own family. I know it isn't much, but I'm going to help you train from now on, if you'll let me. Especially since you've been granted such an incredible gift with your eyes. And quote. Naruto barely managed to hold back tears at his father's words, but his face scrunched up a little at the mention of his eyes, and quote. Mom said they're called the Rinnegan. What's so special about them? And quote. Minato leaned back in his chair, and quote. The birth of Shinobi came about with the rise of a man who became a legend, the Sage of Six Paths. The story goes that the sage defeated a mighty enemy many years ago, after which he created ninjutsu and became known as the father of shinobi. The Rinnegan eyes were said to be his ultimate weapon. And quote. Naruto stared at his father in awe, and quote. Really? And quote. Minato nodded, and quote. It is by far the most powerful of the three great ocular jutsu, the Rinnegan, the Sharingan and the Byakugan. It's said that the Rinnegan only manifests itself once every few generations. To think my own son would gain its power. You're going to become a powerful shinobi. And quote. Naruto grinned. And quote. If it means I can protect my village, then I'll master it, no sweat. I never go back on my word, that's my ninja way. And quote. 3 years later, Konoha Ninja Academy. Iruka sighed as he walked into his classroom, gazing fondly at the desks that would soon be filled the already graduated students one last time before their lives as shinobi began. He was surprised to see his favorite pupil already in his regular seat, and quote. Naruto. And quote. The blonde looked up from the book he'd been reading and smiled at his favorite teacher, and quote. Hey Iruka-sensei. Sorry I'm here so early, I just wanted to get some quick reading done before the chaos starts. Hikari and Mom were already at it in the house and Dad's in a meeting, so I figured I'd come here. And quote. Iruka smiled warmly at the boy, walking over to where he was sitting, and quote. That's fine with me, it's good to see you here actually. Helps me deal with the feeling of nostalgia. What are you reading? And quote. Naruto held up the book, and quote. Jiraiya Sensei's first book. Tales of an Utterly Gutsy Shinobi. I'm named after the main character. And quote. Iruka grinned. And quote. Fitting. And quote. Naruto laughed, and quote. If you say so. I'm just excited the day's finally here. And quote. Iruka nodded, and quote. Indeed. I get the feeling no matter who you're paired with, you're destined for great things. Especially with those eyes of yours. And quote. Naruto smirked, and quote. Even without them, Iruka-sensei. And quote. Iruka laughed, and quote. Indeed. You've certainly done an excellent job of becoming a strong shinobi even without your visual prowess. And quote. Naruto nodded, and quote. I'm the son of the Yellow Flash. I have to rely on more than just my eyes. And quote. Iruka grinned, patting the boy's shoulder before turning around and walking back to the podium to get ready to announce the genin teams. Konoha Academy. 1 hour later, and quote. Naru. And quote. Hikari squealed, leaping onto her brother's back, making him squawk in surprise. And quote. Come on Hikari, calm down, and quat, Naruto pleaded as she began to squash him. Ino and Sakura giggled as Naruto struggled to throw his sister off, which he eventually managed to do, much to Hikari's disappointment. And quat, ah, don't you love me anymore big bro? And quat, Naruto sighed irritably, and quat, I knew you were going to be like this, and quat, Hikari giggled, and quat, I can't help it. We're finally shinobi today, and quat, Naruto sighed but couldn't help but smile at her, and quat, yeah we are. At least you look the part now, and quat, Hikari gave him a big smile and a small twirl to show off her battle outfit. She had her long red hair pulled into a high ponytail, her konoha headband tied around her neck. She wore a crimson shirt with the Uzumaki swirl on the back over a fishnet shirt, white gloves on her arms that ended just short of her elbows. She also wore a white battle skirt that ended at her mid-thigh with battle shorts underneath and leg wraps that began at her knees and covered her shins, and finished the look with a pair of white and red shinobi sandals. She had her kunai holster wrapped to her right leg and a pouch on her lower back, on the left side. Hikari looked Naruto over and grinned, and quat, you look super deadly too, big bro, and quat, Naruto wore his headband over his forehead, keeping his blonde hair out of his eyes. His hair had grown a little longer, and now reached the base of his neck. He wore a black shirt that also has the Uzumaki swirl on the back, with dark blue shorts and black fingerless gloves that bore the Senju clan symbol on the metal plates, a gift from his godmother, Tsunade. He had on black shinobi sandals, and from his ankles to his upper shins he had bound black shinobi bandages around his legs. His black kunai holster was strapped to his right leg, once again held there by black bandage wraps. He also had a dark blue pouch with the kanji for flash across it attached to his waist, behind his back. His Rinnegan eyes gleamed with pride, and quat, thanks sis, dad helped me sort it out, and quat, Shikamaru groaned beside him, and quat, of course you two would come looking awesome. Troublesome, and quat, Choji nodded, and quat, seriously. It makes me kind of jealous, and quat, Ino grinned, and quat, well I think you look great Naruto, and quat, Naruto blushed, and quat, thanks Ino. You look really good, too, and quat, this time it was Ino's turn to blush, prompting Hikari to look between them with a sly smile, but was soon shaken from her borderline lecherous thoughts by Iruka, who yelled, and quat, alright, everyone to your seats, and quat, Sasuke trudged up towards Naruto and plopped down. The pair exchanging a fist bump and a smirk, and quat, think they'll pair us on the same team, and quat, Sasuke asked hopefully. Naruto shook his head, and quat, I don't think so buddy. The Rinnegan and the Sharingan on the same team? The council would have a heart attack, and quat, Sasuke sighed dejectedly. And quat, damn it, I swear if they put me on a team with your sister, and quat, Naruto suppressed a chuckle, and quat, well they usually pair the dead last and the rookie of the year together, but I think Hikari will be paired with said rookie instead, if only to promote her personal growth, and also since Hikari and I are siblings, I doubt I'll be stuck with her. So considering we're sharing the rookie of the year spot, and quat, Sasuke planted his face loudly on the desk and groaned. And quat, why me? And quat, Iruka cleared his throat, and quat, alright everyone, listen up. First team is, and quat, the scarred Chunin went down the list, mainly throwing the middle tier scoring students and the civilians together in a subtle effort to keep the clan heirs and shinobi children together, before he finally reached the team that had been of particular intrigue to the Konoha Council, and Quat, Team 7. Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno and Hikari Namikaze, and Quat, Sasuke's loud groan made Naruto laugh loudly, patting his best friend on the back. Ino sighed as she looked over at Naruto, hoping to be on his team. Hikari just hung her head, having a very bad feeling about the whole thing. Sakura, meanwhile, grinned at Sasuke, who merely planted his forehead back on the desk. Iruka shook his head and Quat, "Alright, that's enough." Team 8. Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame and Hinata Hyuga, and Quat. Having already expected this, the three moved to sit beside one another. Knowing that due to their clan abilities they were likely to be assigned to a tracking squad, Iruka moved down the list and Quat, Team 10. Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamichi and Ino Yamanaka, and Quat. Ino deflated a little more, having really hoped to be assigned to Naruto's team, but resigned herself to the Ino Shika Cho tradition. Shikamaru and Choji exchanged a grin, high-fiving at their good fortune. Iruka listed off a few more names before both he and Naruto frowned. Raising a hand, Naruto quickly asked and Quat, what about me, sensei? And Quat. Iruka blinked. And Quat, apparently you haven't been assigned to a team, Naruto. And Quat. Hikari whirled her around to look at her brother in alarm. Naruto himself had 1,000 questions flying around in his head, but was cut short when the door to the classroom opened, and in walked none other than the third Hokage himself, Hiruzen Sarutobi. The old man smiled kindly at the students, who quickly bowed their heads, and said, and Quat, Naruto. If you'll come with me for a moment, and Quat. Naruto steadily got up from his seat, shooting a worried glance at Sasuke, before into the hallway with the old man. Hiruzen, spotting the boy's nervous demeanor, placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. And Quat. Relax Naruto, it's alright. And Quat. Naruto frowned, and Quat. Then how come I'm not on a team? And Quat. Hiruzen sighed, and Quat. Actually. The problem is that was have one graduate too many. This year. You're far beyond the level of your average genin, and as such it became difficult to balance the teams out. However, your father made it explicitly clear that you be given a team, so we reached a compromise. As of right now, there are 3 genin teams that would benefit from an extra member. Team 7, Team 8 and Team 10. It's up to you which one you want to join. And Quat. Naruto frowned and Quat. How will this affect the Chunin exams for me? And Quat. Hiruzen chuckled, and Quat. Very perceptive. Simply put, you will be given your own set of instructions for team exercises, or at least, that's what will happen should you take the exams in Konoha. In other nations, you would be permitted to join another team for any team exercises. Other than that, the rules are basic. And Quat. Naruto tapped his chin, and Quat. I think I know why Dad wanted me on a team so badly. And Quat. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow, and Quat. Oh, and Quat. Naruto nodded, and Quat. Yeah, as far as we can tell, when Hikari loses control of the Kyuubi only Dad or I can calm her down. I'll be joining Team 7, if only to keep my eye on her. And Quat. Hiruzen smiled, and Quat. You really are one of a kind. Very well then, I hereby declare you the 4th member of Team 7. And Quat. Naruto grinned as he walked back into the classroom, catching his sister's eye and giving her a reassuring smile as he made his way back to Sasuke. Sasuke raised a brow, and Naruto leaned over to whisper in the Uchiha's ear. Instantly, Sasuke's face lit up, and he cheered loudly, eliciting confused looks from The other genin. 3 hours later in quat, we got Kakashi as our sensei, and quat, Naruto muttered. Hikari pouted, and quat, you'd think he'd be on time for at least this, and quat, Sasuke shrugged, and quat, who knows, and quat. Sakura glanced at the twins, and quat, so you guys know him already, and quat. Naruto nodded, and quat, he's our dad's old student, and quat. Sakura's eyes widened, and quat, really, and quat. Hikari sighed, and quat, yeah. But he's so lazy it's insane. I can't believe he's our sensei, and quat. Sasuke shrugged again, and quat. By the way Naruto, how come you're on our team? Not that I'm complaining, but, and quat. Naruto sighed, and quat. Apparently I was one genin too many, and they couldn't find me another team to join. So, they let me join yours, and quat. Hikari frowned, and quat. More like they wanted to make sure I don't lose control of the Kyuubi. Big brother deserves his own team, and quat. They were brought out of their conversation as the door opened and in walked a sheepish Kakashi, and quat. Team 7. Meet me on the roof in 2 minutes, and quat. With that, he poofed out of existence, making Naruto roll his eyes, and quat. Show off, and quat. Roof of the academy. Kakashi glanced at his new charges with interest before his eyes settled on Naruto, and quat. So he did pick his sister's team. I guess the rumors about him being her protective guardian were true. This should be fun, and quat. Bringing his attention back to the others, he cleared his throat, and quat. Alright, let's introduce ourselves, and quat. Sakura raised a tentative hand in the air, and quat. Could give us an example sensei, and quat. Kakashi shrugged, and quat. Alright then. My name's Kakashi Hatake. I have no intention of telling you my likes or dislikes, and I have many dreams, and quat. Everyone sweat dropped, and quat. He didn't tell us anything, and quat. Kakashi I smiled, and quat. Your turn, Red, and quat. A tick mark appeared on Hikari's forehead at the nickname, and Naruto sweat dropped, and quat. Kakashi clearly wants to die, and quat. Hikari cleared her throat, and quat. My name is Hikari Namikaze. I like dango and spending time with my family, and I dislike when people treat other people without respect. My dream is to one day become a strong kunoichi like my mother, and quat. Kakashi smiled internally, and quat. Looks like she'll do just that, Kyuubi or not, and quat. The Jonin then turned to face Sakura, and quat. How about you Pinky? And quat. Sakura's face lit up, and quat. My name is Sakura Haruno. I like studying and spending time with my friends. I dislike people who act like idiots. My dream is to one day become as strong as a certain someone, and quat. She finished by glancing at Sasuke, a heavy blush adorning her cheeks. Kakashi sweat dropped, and quat. Well, at least she's not the worst fangirl Sasuke's ever had, and quat. His gaze shifted to said Uchiha, who looked extremely bored, and quat. You're next, Broody, and quat. Sasuke's eye twitched at the nickname, but responded anyway, and quat. Sasuke Uchiha. I like training and working on new jutsu. I dislike people who rely on others too much. My dream is to bring justice to a particular man for what he did to my clan, and quat. Kakashi looked the boy over carefully, and quat. It looks like all the time he's spent around Naruto really has changed him. That's good, and quat. Satisfied with Sasuke's answer, Kakashi glanced at his last student, and quat. Naruto, and quat. All 3 of the others dead. Panned, and quat. How come Naruto doesn't get a nickname? And quat. Naruto suppressed a laugh at their expressions, and responded cheerily, and quat. My name is Naruto Namikaze. My likes are ramen, training, and spending time with my dad. I strongly dislike anyone who threatens my comrades, my village and my family. My dream is one day surpass my father as Hokage and bring peace to the shinobi world. Believe it. And quat. Kakashi blinked in surprise, before his eye crinkled into what they assumed was a smile, and quat. Minato-sensei. You were right. Naruto is ambitious. And quat. Nodding his head, Kakashi looked around at them, and quat. Alright then. Well, I think it's time I revealed the truth to you. None of you are genin. Yet. And quat. And quat. What? And quat. Hikari and Sakura cried indignantly. Sasuke frowned while Naruto simply raised a brow, and quat. What's his game? And quat. Kakashi shrugged. And quat. The academy tests your knowledge of the shinobi arts. But not your actual skill in the field. That's why each Jonin sensei is required to test his or her genin team. However, the test only has a 33% pass rate. And if you fail, it's right back to the academy. And quat. And quat. What? And quat. Yelled Sasuke, Sakura and Hikari. Naruto narrowed his eyes, but said nothing. Kakashi shrugged, and quat. Afraid so. However, since there are 4 of you, I'll be testing one of you separately. And quat. Naruto sighed, and quat. Damn it. And quat. Kakashi gave them a mock salute, and quat. Alright then, be at training ground 7 tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock sharp. And don't eat any breakfast. You'll puke. And quat. With that, he disappeared with a poof. Later that night, Namikaze household, and quat. I can't believe it. We finally graduate, and now we might be getting sent back. And quat. Hikari cried as the family, sans Naruto and Minato, sat at the dinner table. Kushina sighed, and quat. Come on now Hikari, you're a very capable kunoichi. You'll pass that test with flying colors. You remember the golden rule, right? And quat. Hikari nodded dejectedly. And quat. Those break the rules are scum. But those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum. And quat. Kushina smiled brightly at her, and quat. If you always keep that lesson in your heart, then no matter what you do, you'll be fine. And quat. Keiko piped up from beside Hikari, and quat. Mama. Where's Naruto and Papa? And quat. Kushina smiled, and quat. They're out for tonight. Your father wanted to talk to Naruto about some important things. And quat. Momo huffed, and quat. How come Naruto gets to go hang out with Dad but we're stuck here? And quat. Hikari glared at her little sister, and quat. Because he's the family heir. And he's the only boy. Besides, he works really hard. Dad just likes to make sure he's doing okay. And quat. Kushina smiled warmly at her eldest daughter, and quat. That's right, Hikari. Besides, you know your father loves all of you equally. It's just he and Naruto share a special bond as father and son. And quat. Natsumi nodded, and quat. Exactly. Naru's got those eyes. Remember? Papa wants to make sure that he's learning how to use them properly. And quat. Momo frowned. And quat. Mama, how come none of us look like Dad except Naruto? And quat. Kushina giggled, and quat. We're still not sure honey. But look at like this. You all have beautiful red hair, just like Mama. My eyes too. It's like an army of mini-me's. And quat. Hikari sighed, and quat. Naru used to look just like Dad. He even had those same blue eyes. And quat. Kushina sighed, and quat. Well, there's no way around that, baby girl. Those eyes are permanent. Still. The longer his hair gets, the more he reminds me of your father in his youth. And quat. Keiko giggled, and quat. He says he wants to grow it as long as Uncle Jiraiya's, and quat. Kushina sweat dropped, and quat. So long as that's the only way he emulates that pervert, I guess I can live with it. And quat. Ichiraku ramen, at the same time and quat. So tell me, what made you pick Kakashi's team, Naruto? And quat. Minato asked as he and his son devoured their ramen. Naruto grinned, and quat. Well, for one, I'm the only one who can calm Hikari in a pinch with my eyes, so I figured it was a good excuse to make sure she stays safe. And quat. Minato smiled, and quat. Of course. You've always been her guardian angel. And quat. Naruto nodded, and quat. Naturally. We may be twins, but she's still my little sister. I'll protect my family no matter what. Remember? And quat. Minato laughed, and quat. How could I forget? But is that all? Just your sister? And quat. Naruto shook his head, and quat. No. I also want to be there for Sasuke. He's the closest thing I have to a brother, and I'll be damned if I let him fall back into the dark world of revenge. I made a promise to help him bring Itachi to justice, no matter how long it takes, and I intend to keep that promise. And quat. The Hokage blinked, before a fond smile tugged at his lips. And quat. I'm glad. Sasuke will need that bond in the coming years, I'm sure. And quat. Naruto nodded, downing the rest of his bowl, and quat. So anyway, what do you think Kakashi will do for my test? And quat. Minato raised a brow in amusement, and quat. What makes you think that you're the one he's going to test separately? And quat. Naruto deadpanned, and quat. Come on, Dad. Be serious. And quat. The older blonde merely chuckled, and quat. I'm not sure, son. But if I were you, be ready to be pushed to your limit. Kakashi's made it his mission to help you learn more about the Rinnegan. And quat. Naruto sighed, and quat. I figured. And quat. Minato glanced around before quietly asking his son, and quat. How have you been doing with it, by the way? And quat. Naruto frowned, and quat. I'm still only able to use the Asura and Diva paths. But oddly enough I found out that I might be able to use some of the same abilities as the Sharingan. It's weird. Sasuke and I were comparing notes and it seems like my Rinnegan can use many of the same powers the Sharingan does. And quat. Minato frowned, and quat. Odd. I'll see what I dig up in the archives. For now though, I'd suggest you keep training to use it to the best of your abilities, but remember, don't rely on it. It puts a pretty heavy strain on your body when overused, and while you have large chakra reserves, almost as big as Kakashi's, it's not bottomless. And quat. Naruto grinned, and quat. I know, Dad. Don't worry, I've been training really hard to master the Hiraishin, so I'm not a one-trick pony. And quat. Minato chuckled, and quat. That's my boy. To think. A jutsu it took me years to perfect and master, and my son's almost figured out how to master it himself at only 12 years old. Incredible. And quat. Naruto shrugged, and quat. I dunno. Like you said, I don't have the ridiculously large chakra reserves needed to really perform those techniques well like you do. And quat. Minato shook his head, and quat. It'll come in time, Naruto. Now let's head on home before your mother gets too mad. And quat. Naruto shivered, and quat. Good plan. And quat. The next morning, training ground 7, Naruto's eye twitched as he listened to his sister complain about not being allowed to eat breakfast again. He gave her a withering look, and quat. Hikari, I'm sure Kakashi-sensei had a reason for not letting us eat breakfast. Apart from the puking that is. And quat. Hikari huffed, crossing her arms, and quat. Still. Besides, he's like 2 hours late. And quat. Sasuke twitched in annoyance, and quat. Just relax, will you? He's clearly trying to psyche us out, and quat. Sakura sighed and quat. Regardless, you'd think he would be here by now, and quat. You think who'd be here by now, and quat? Kakashi asked from the top of the fence surrounding the area. Naruto and Sasuke sweat dropped, and quat. Seriously, and quat? Kakashi laughed, hopping down and saying nonchalantly, and quat. Sorry about that, got lost on the path of life, and quat. Naruto shook his head, but was immediately put on guard when a kunai flew at his face. With incredible speed, Naruto pulled out one of his own special kunai, deflecting the one Kakashi had thrown. He grinned at the masked Jonin, and quat. So I guess I'm being tested first, and quat. Kakashi nodded, and quat. That was incredibly fast. Seems he's trying to steal his dad's moniker after all, and quat. Stepping back a little further into the field, Kakashi lazily said, and quat. All you have to do is land one hit on me. Oh, and no using those eyes of yours, and quat. Naruto nodded, and Hikari yelled, and quat. Come on big bro. Kick his smug ass, and quat. Sasuke smirked, leaning back against the nearby post, while Sakura watched intently. Kakashi got into a defensive stance and said, and quat. Ready when you are, and quat. Naruto nodded, reaching into his kunai pouch and pulling out 3 more special kunai, which caused Kakashi's brow to raise and quat. The Hiraishin, eh? This could get tricky if I'm not careful, and quat. Not wasting any time, Naruto threw the kunai at strategic vantage points around the Jonin, before forming a hand seal and quat. Shadow clone jutsu, and quat. He created 3 exact copies himself, before all 4 versions of Naruto vanished in a black and yellow blur, reappearing by the scattered kunai, each clone shifting through hand seals, and quat. Shit, and quat. Kakashi muttering, going through his own hand seals, and quat. Water style. Water wall, and quat. The Naruto's grinned, and quat. Fire style. Blazing box jutsu, and quat. While 2 clones channeled bursts of fire, the real Naruto and a clone channeled wind chakra to enhance the power of the flames. Kakashi's eyes widened as the wall of water he'd created started to evaporate under the intense heat, and he quickly went through more hand seals, and quat. Earth style, mud dome, and quat. Just as the flames broke through the barrier, a dome of earth covered Kakashi, and protected him from the flames. Sakura's eyes bulged, and quat. Whoa. That's incredible, and quat. Hikari grinned, and quat. Hell. Yeah it is. Naru could have graduated from the academy when we were 8 years old. He only stayed to keep me and Sasuke company, and quat. Sasuke smirked, and quat. He's much better than your average genin. That's for sure, and quat. Kakashi frowned as he leapt away from the blonde, and quat. Looks like I underestimated him, and quat. Naruto, however, charged at the Jonin before he could fully recover. Shifted through more hand seals as 2 clones leapt into the air, and quat. Lightning style, thunder. Cannon Hydro Devastator, and quat. The clones in the air channeling lightning from their bodies and cat it downwards to fuse with the 2 massive streams of water coming from the real Naruto and the other clone, creating a massive burst of lighting-charged water. Kakashi quickly leapt away to the water, and quat. Water style, Water Dragon Jutsu, and quat. The 2 attacks clashed in the air, and Kakashi took the opportunity to vanish into the forest, and quat. Holy hell. 4 elements, and he's only a genin? That Rinnegan. What awesome power. Although, the length of those jutsu names, he really is his father's son. Alright Hitaki, Time to get serious. And quat. Naruto scanned the area, breathing heavily and quat. I'm almost ready. Just need a few more seconds and I'll be able to do it. And quat. He suddenly leapt high into the air as Kakashi's hands came straight out of the ground, while the Jonin leapt into action and quickly dispatched the clones before leaping up after Naruto, placing a kunai at the boy's neck in mid-air, saying coolly, and quat. It's over, and quat. Kakashi said smugly. Naruto smirked, and quat. Damn straight it is, and quat. Kakashi frowned, but suddenly felt a foot connect with the side of his head, throwing him straight into the ground. Naruto landed triumphantly, his clone dispelling, and quat. I win, and quat. Kakashi stared at him in disbelief, and quat. But, how? When on earth did you mark me? And quat. Naruto grinned, and quat. When you attacked my clones. I knew you'd probably go for an attack from underground, seeing as it's the one place I wasn't paying attention to, so I hid myself underground too and placed a minor perception-altering genjutsu on you as you went for my clone's legs, after which I subtly slapped a seal on your back before retreating back underground. And quat. Kakashi shook his head in disbelief as he stood up, rubbing his sore cheek, and quat. So when did you make that last clone? And quat. Naruto smirked, and quat. When you used that mud wall. And quat. Kakashi groaned, and quat. Of course. That was very impressive, Naruto. I underestimated you. Well, congratulations, you pass. And quat. Naruto grinned until he was tackled by his sister, and quat. That was awesome, Naru. And quat. And quat. Damn it. Hikari, get off. And quat. Naruto pleaded as his sister pinned him to the ground. Sasuke walked over to the pair, kneeling down with a look of slight concern on his face, and quat. You okay? There. And quat. Naruto, finally managing to throw his sister off, sighed, and quat. I think so. Maybe I went a little overboard with those combos. That was a lot of chakra at once, and quat. Sakura gulped as she approached him, and quat. That was really cool, Naruto. And quat. He grinned at her, and quat. Thanks, Sakura. And quat. Kakashi cleared his throat, and quat. Alright guys, enough chit-chat. Naruto may have passed but you three have not. Now get ready, it's time for you three to be tested. 2. And quat. Yakiniku barbecue, that evening in quat. Kanpai, and quat. Roared teams 7, 8 and 10, all of whom had passed their own individual tests. Their families were also present, as well as the Jonin senseis. Minato grinned at his eldest daughter, ruffling her hair affectionately, and quat. So you figured out Kakashi's test, huh? And quat. She nodded happily, and quat. Oh yeah. I thought it was weird. He only had 2 bells, even if he did make that comment about Naruto being on the team no matter what. Then I remembered he was your student dad, and I figured out he must have been testing our ability to work as a team. And quat. Kushina grinned, and quat. That's right. There's nothing more important than teamwork. And quat. Sume Inuzuka laughed, and quat. Damn straight, Kushina. Just like our Genin days, eh? And quat. Shibuya gave an uncharacteristic shudder, and quat. Please, do not remind me. And quat. Minato held back a laugh, and said, and quat. Well, as Hokage I must say it pleases me to know. And that you're all turning into such fine young shinobi of our village. And quat. Choza Akamichi held up his cup of sake and roared, and quat. To the will of fire, and quat. Everyone cheered in agreement. And quat. The will of fire, and quat. Inoichi Yamanaka frowned as he looked around the table, and quat. Where are Naruto and Sasuke? And quat. Hikari rolled her eyes, and quote, probably out training. Again, and quote, Shikaku Nara raised a brow, and quote, they do this often, and quote, Kushina folded her arms. With a small scowl, and quote, almost every night. Half the time Naruto doesn't even come home for dinner, and quote, Sakura gaped, and quote, no wonder they're so strong, and quote, Shikamaru scowled. And quote, troublesome, and quote, Asuma Sarutobi raised a brow, and quote, they that good, and quote, Hikari grinned, and quote, ask Kakashi sensei. Naruto handed his ass to him on a silver platter, and quote, Kushina smacked her daughter over the head, and quote, watch your mouth, and quote, Kurenai Yuhi looked at Kakashi in surprise, and quote, is that right, and quote, Kakashi sweat dropped, and quote, well, it wasn't quite that bad. But yes, I definitely underestimated him, and quote, Minato laughed, and quote, that's my boy for you, and quote, Hiyashi Hyuga, who normally would not attend such functions, raised a brow, and quote, indeed? Such skill for one so young. It seems we have discovered the next Minato, Lord Hokage, and quote, Minato laughed even louder, and quote, maybe so, and quote, Ino giggled, and quote, man, I'd hate to go against your team Hikari, it sounds like you're going to be juggernauts, and quote, Shikamaru scowled again, and quote, troublesome, and quote, Asuma sweat dropped, and quote, is that the only word he knows, and quote, Choji shrugged, and quote, maybe. Still, we're all comrades, right? So that means no matter what, we'll always have each other's backs, and quote, Choza nodded, patting his son's shoulder, and quote, well said, my boy, and quote, Uchiha compound, at the same time in quote, fire style, Grand Phoenix sweeping obliteration jutsu, and quote, Naruto and Sasuke roared, spewing fire from their mouths in the form of a soaring phoenix. After the phoenix disappeared, both boys fell flat on their backs, panting heavily, and Sasuke said tiredly, and quote, that's still a stupid name, Naruto, and quote, Naruto laughed hoarsely, and quote, shut up, at least we managed it this time, and quote, Sasuke chuckled, and quote, true, man, that really takes it out of you, and quote, Naruto grinned, and quote, yeah, but it's so worth it. Imagine if we can pull it off in combat. Water style beware, and quote, Sasuke outright laughed, and quote, hell yeah. It just sucks we can't use it unless I have my Sharingan active, and quote, Naruto turned his head, and quote, hey, it'll get easier once your third Tomo pops up. Besides, even with my Rinnegan it's hard for me to really use elemental jutsu like that, and quote, Sasuke scoffed, and quote, that's because your primary, or at least strongest, element makes you a natural wind user, and quote, Naruto raised a brow, and quote, and you're a lightning wielder. What's your point? And quote, Sasuke paused for a moment before smiling sheepishly, and quote, none I guess. Seriously though, we have to shorten the name to that jutsu. And our other combos. This is getting ridiculous. And quote, Naruto grinned, and quote, maybe so. Still, that's one hell of a powerful jutsu. And quote, they were brought out of their reverie by the appearance of Minato, who chuckled at the sight of the pair, and quote, honestly you two, you've got missions tomorrow and you're tiring yourselves out by training, and quote, Naruto pointed an accusing finger at his father, and quote, silence. You should have seen the jutsu we just made up together, and quote, Minato raised a brow, and quote, so I wasn't just suffering from the effects of the sake when I saw that ridiculously large phoenix, and quote, Sasuke grinned, and quote, no sir. That was a 100% original combo Naruto. And I made up, and quote. Naruto nodded, and quote, yep. I named it, Fire Style, Grand Phoenix Sweeping, Obliteration Jutsu, and quote. Minato roared with laughter, and quote. You really are just like me son, you even have the same knack for naming jutsu, and quote. Sasuke groaned, and quote. Oh god please don't remind me, and quote. Minato chuckled, and quote. Alright, well, I'll take you both back to our place, no sense in you passing out in the middle of the training field Sasuke, and quote. The young Uchiha smiled, and quote. Thanks, Lord Hokage, and quote. Minato grinned, and quote. Not a problem, you know that. You can use the spare bed in Naruto's room, and quote. Naruto grinned at his father, and quote. Thanks dad, and quote. The Hokage nodded, putting a hand on both of their shoulders and vanishing in a flash. Namikaze residence. Seconds later Kushina and Hikari were going over a few fuinjutsu tricks in the living room when Minato flashed in with an exhausted Naruto and Sasuke. Kushina scowled at her son, and quote. Damn it Naruto, you have missions tomorrow. What possessed you to go and wear yourself out like this, and quote. Naruto raised a fist in the air, and quote. The most awesome fire style jutsu anyone will ever see, and quote. Sasuke nodded, and quote. It's a little costly, that's all. We've been working on it for weeks now, and quote. Hikari sighed, and quote. You idiots. Alright, I'll carry Sasu if you carry Naru dad, and quote. Sasuke scowled at her, and quote. My name isn't Sasu, and quote. Hikari giggled, and quote. It is when you can't even move, pretty boy, and quote. Naruto laughed, and quote. Sorry Sasuke, she's got you there, and quote. Kushina's brow twitched, and quote. Whatever. I'm going to bed. Freakin' boys, never going to understand them, and quote. 2 weeks later Naruto's face twitched with annoyance and slight pain, gingerly touching the scratch marks on his face as the fire daimyo's wife virtually strangled Tora the cat to death, and quote. Damn furball deserves it too, and quote. Minato's sweat dropped as she left, the cat howling for help all the way, and quote. I get the feeling she'll be loose again very very soon, and quote. Hikari groaned, and quote. Come on dad, can't you give us a C rank already? We've been doing 2 or 3 D ranks a day at least for the past 2 weeks, and quote. Minato quirked a brow, and quote. Hikari. When I'm here in this capacity it's Lord Hokage, not dad, remember, and quote. The girl merely huffed, and quote. Whatever. I demand a C rank, right now, and quote. Minato looked at his former student in annoyance, but the Jonin quickly averted his gaze, as if to say, she's your wife's daughter Sene. In desperation, the Hokage looked pleadingly at his son, who merely shook his head, still nursing the scratches on his arms, as if to say, you're on your own. He sighed, and quote. Traitorous little bastard. Fine, and quote. Glancing through the potential mission scrolls, the blonde looked at his predecessor, and quote. What do you think, Lord Third? And quote. Hiruzen stroked his goatee, and quote. I think perhaps a simple escort mission would suffice. After all, they have done about 46 missions so far, most impressive for a fresh genin team, even if they do have 4 members, and quote. Minato nodded before glancing at Iruka, and quote. And you, Iruka, and quote. Iruka tapped his chin with his pen, and quote. Honestly, I'm not too keen to let fresh genin attempt a C rank, but I suppose we have to test them eventually. Very well, I agree with Lord Third, and quote. Minato sighed in resignation, and quote, very well. Your mission is to escort a client back to his home in the land of waves. He's a bridge builder named Tazuna. Let him in, and quote. The doors opened to reveal what appeared to be a mere drunk fisherman, who gave the genin a once-over, and asked, and quote, these brats are the best you could do, and quote. Naruto face-palmed, while Sasuke and Sakura grabbed a now furious Hikari, holding a hand over her mouth to stop her from saying anything. Stupid. Kakashi chuckled nervously, and quote, well, I am a Jonin, an elite. And young Naruto here is far beyond your average genin, and quote. Tazuna shrugged, and quote. Alright, whatever, and quote. Minato rubbed his temple at his daughter's antics and said, and quote. Do you accept the mission then? Kakashi, and quote. Kakashi quickly snagged the mission scroll from his former sensei, and quote. Yes, Lord Hokage. Mr. Tazuna, we'll see you tomorrow morning by the village gates at 9:30, and quote. Tazuna nodded, and drunkenly sauntered away. With that, the genin left the room, but Naruto and Kakashi were stopped by Minato, who called out to them to wait for a moment. Once the doors were closed, Minato fixed them with a serious look, and quote. Be careful, both of you. I'm sure there's something Tazuna's not telling us. Rumor has it Nami no Kuni is under the oppressive fist of Gato, though this could be rumor and nothing more. It goes without saying though that you both need to keep a close eye on Hikari. I don't want her losing control, and quote. Naruto nodded, and quote. Understood, Lord Hokage. If necessary, I'll use my Rinnegan to subdue her for her own safety, and quote. Kakashi nodded in agreement, and quote. I'll also be prepared to do the same with my Sharingan, and quote. Naruto's eyes opened wider in surprise for a brief moment, and quote. So the stories are true, and quote. Minato nodded, and quote. Very well, but only as a last resort. And Naruto. You might want to cast a mild genjutsu on yourself to hide your eyes. Nothing too intricate, just enough to fool civilians. We can't afford to let our enemies know you carry such a powerful dojutsu. Or at least, let them know it's you if they do manage to spot you. And quote. Naruto bowed, and quote. As you say, Lord Hokage. Is that all? And quote. Minato grinned, and quote. Yes, it is. Good luck on your mission. And quote. Naruto bowed once more and promptly exited the room, making the older blonde chuckle, and quote. It's a stark contrast to his sister, and quote. Kakashi sighed, and quote. Indeed, sensei, indeed. And quote. Iruka shook his head, and quote. It's hard to remember they're related sometimes, and quote. Hiruzen laughed, and quote. You think so? I think they're very much alike in the ways that really matter, and quote. The next morning Naruto yawned as he walked beside a grumpy Sasuke, who muttered, and quote. That's the last time we try that jutsu for a while. I thought I was gonna die from chakra depletion, and quote. Naruto nodded emphatically, and quote. Yeah, no kidding. Remind me again why we decided to try it, and quote. Sasuke sighed, and quote. Hell if I know. Seemed like a good idea at the time, I guess, and quote. Naruto shook his head, and quote. Combining my wind and your lightning is going to be more difficult than we thought, and quote. Sasuke shrugged, and quote. It's like combining fire and water. If you don't find a trick to make it work, then all it'll do is evaporate. Or in this case, fizzle out and implode. And quote. Naruto nodded in agreement as they approached the gates, where Hikari, Sakura, Tazuna and Kakashi were waiting. Sakura gasped as she saw them, and quote. You guys look terrible, and quote. HN, and quote. was the only response she got from the pair. Hikari giggled. And quat, you should have seen them when they stumbled in last night. They looked like they'd been through a tornado. And quat, Kakashi raised a brow. And quat, well, let's get going. Standard formation. Naruto and Sasuke out front, Hikari and Sakura at the flanks, and I'll be at the rear. Tazuna, you'll be in the middle. It should only take us a few days to reach Nami no Kuni, so let's get going. And quat, 4 hours later. And quat, so you're saying it'd be like the eye of a hurricane, in theory? And quat, Naruto asked his best friend as they led the group. Sasuke nodded. And quat, but it has to be coordinated perfectly, otherwise it'll blow up in our faces. And quat, Naruto rubbed his chin. And quat, that might work. We'd need to practice it a lot though. We can't make the radius too wide, it diminishes the combat effectiveness. And quat, Sasuke grinned. And quat, agreed. It's probably going to require timing too. We should really work on that more. And quat, Tazuna stared at the pair in amazement as they prattled on in an almost alien language to non-shinobi, and a slightly insane one even by shinobi standards, and asked, and quat, do they do this often? And quat, Sakura sighed. And quat, every day. And quat, Hikari shook her head. And quat, they've been like this for years. Ever since they were little kids. And quat, Tazuna raised a brow. And quat, why's that? And quat, Hikari giggled. And quat, our mom and Sasuke's mom were best friends, so those two were practically raised together. As a matter of fact, our moms were the godmothers of them, mine was someone else. And quat, Tazuna frowned at the past tense use in reference to the Namikaze twins and Sasuke's mothers. And quat, were. And quat, Sakura sighed sadly. And quat, Sasuke's entire clan was wiped out a few years ago. He's only ever really opened up to Naruto since. And quat, Kakashi nodded grimly. And quat, they're both heirs to powerful and respected clans, so they've had pressure on them since birth. Although Naruto's claim is a tad bit more complicated. And quat, Tazuna scratched his cheek. And quat, complicated how? And quat, Hikari gulped, not fond of the memory of that night. And quat, my dad initially wanted me to become clan heir. But after Naruto lost it on him, well, my mom knocked some sense into my dad. Besides, I never wanted to be clan heir, that's always been Naru's dream. And quat, Tazuna's eyes widened in surprise. And quat, really? Huh. Interesting. And you two are the children of the Hokage. And quat, Hikari grinned. And quat, yup. There are 5 of us so far. Although knowing mom and dad, we'll probably end up having another sibling or 2 yet. Although Naru's the only one who looks like dad. The rest of us are girls, and we look like mom. And quat, Naruto glanced over his shoulder. And quat, at least you don't have my damn whiskers. And quat, Hikari rolled her eyes. And quat, you're literally the only one who doesn't like them. Naru. And quat, Sasuke shook his head when a small puddle caught his and Naruto's eyes. Without a word, the pair subtly nodded to one another, something Kakashi picked on with a proud smile as he prepared for the ambush. A few seconds later, said ambush came, and Kakashi's body became wrapped in chains before being torn apart. Before the 2 assailants could finish their rush at Tazuna, however, Naruto and Sasuke threw kunai into the chains, pinning the assassins to a nearby tree. Before they could recover, the Uchiha Namikaze duo soared through the air, drop-kicking the assassins. Grabbing the head of one of the attackers, Naruto dropped his ocular genjutsu and forced the man to stare into his Rinnegan eyes. After a few seconds, the man's body went slack, and Naruto stood up, reapplying the ocular genjutsu. Kakashi popped out of the nearby bushes, and briskly approached the genin, saying, "And quat? Anyone hurt?" And quat? No one answered, however his attention was drawn to Sakura, who had a hand on Hikari's shoulder, and quat? "You alright?" And quat? Kakashi frowned, but was stopped by Naruto, who said, "And quat? They were after Tazuna. These guys are just grunts, but they were well versed in mental blocks. I'm not good enough with the Rinnegan yet to really affect them with it." And quat? The Jonin nodded as Sasuke tied the pair securely to the tree, turning his attention back to the Jinchuriki girl. Naruto followed his gaze and frowned, moving over to his sister and pulling her into a quick hug. And quat? "It's fine Hikari, it's fine. They were hidden by a genjutsu, you couldn't have known. No one's hurt, so snap out of it, okay? Remember what mom told you last night." And quat? Hikari nodded, shaking her head and saying quietly, "And quat? While Naru's around nothing will happen to me." And quat? Naruto grinned. And quat? "There's my sister. Now get your head in the game." And quat? She smiled at him, nodding her head as Sakura made sure she hadn't been injured. Happy with his work, Naruto turned to face Tazuna, as his sensei stepped closer. And quat? "So, Mr. Tazuna, it seems you've been holding out on us. Luckily I have two very skilled students who have been training together for so long, otherwise this might have gotten messy." And quat? Tazuna gulped, looking around at the 5 pissed-off ninja before slumping his shoulders. And quat? "It's like this." And quat? The next day. And quat? "Damn." And quat? Kakashi muttered as the mist began to surround them. Naruto immediately dropped his genjutsu and analyzed the mist with his Rinnegan. And quat? "Damn, I can't clear it with my eyes, sensei. This stuff's way too potent." And quat? Kakashi nodded. And quat? "That's fine, Naruto. Just stick close to me. I have a feeling those eyes of yours might still be quite helpful." And quat? His words were proven true instantly as Naruto spotted a massive sword flying through the air, and the blonde quickly roared. And quat? "Everyone down." And quat? Sasuke leapt forward and tackled the girls to the ground as Kakashi did the same with Tazuna, leaving Naruto to quickly fall backwards and hold his hat out, managing to change the trajectory of the blade just enough to shoot it off course, spiraling further upwards into the tree. Behind him, the assailant who threw it landing deftly on the large weapon, a brow raised curiously as he stared at Naruto. Zabuza's eyes widened as he looked at Naruto's eyes. And quat? The Rinnegan? Now this is unexpected. And quat? Naruto smirked. And quat? Zabuza Momochi. The demon of the bloody mist. This is equally unexpected. And quat? Kakashi smirked at his students' antics before turning his attention to the assassin before them. And quat? What does one of Kiri's legendary 7 ninja swordsmen want with a bridge builder? And quat? Zabuza scoffed. And quat? It's a job Kakashi Hatake of the Sharingan. I'm just here for the money. And quat? Sasuke blinked. And quat? Sharingan? So Naruto was right. Interesting. And quat? Naruto frowned. And quat? Seems a bit excessive to send a Jonin-class rogue ninja after a single bridge builder. And quat? Zabuza grinned from his concealed spot in the mist. And quat? You're sharp, kid. What's your name? And quat? Naruto straightened up. And quat? My name is Naruto Namikaze, son of the 4th Hokage and heir to the Namikaze clan. And quat? Zabuza froze. And quat? The 4th Hokage's son? He has the Rinnegan? Damn. Looks like I'll have to bring in some backup. And quat? Without a word, Zabuza went through some hand seals before saying, "And quat, Naruto. Namikaze, eh? Well then, I'm honored. To think I'd get to fight with the son of a Hokage. This is going to be fun." And quat. Naruto cast a glance at his worried sister, and smiled warmly at her. And quat. Don't worry, you guys are my comrades, I'll never let him hurt you. And quat. Zabuza smirked as he appeared behind the bridge builder, sword already swinging down, and quat. Brave words, kid, and quat. Before the blade fell, however, Naruto's foot lodged its way into the swordsman's face, sending him flying backwards. The rogue ninja quickly bounced to his feet, groaning as he rubbed his sore jaw. And quat. What the hell was that? And quat. Naruto smirked, pulling a ceiling tag off of Tazuna's back. And quat. The flying thunder god technique. I marked Tazuna the moment we left the village. And quat. Zabuza's face lit up in a gleeful smile, and quat. Incredible. To have mastered that jutsu so young. And quat. Naruto shook his head, and quat. I'm no master. I'm nowhere near as good as my father is. And quat. Kakashi took the opportunity to lunge from the shadows at Zabuza, but was forced to roll away as a new attacker threw a kick at his head. Kakashi rolled to his feet, and frowned, and quat. Figures Zabuza wouldn't come alone. And quat. The newcomer smirked, and quat. I am Hiroki Kagaya. And quat. Naruto's eyes widened in alarm, and quat. Kagaya. And quat. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. And quat. This is not good. And quat. Zabuza roared with laughter, and quat. The boy is all yours. Hiroki Kakashi is mine. And quat. Hikari gripped her kunai tight. And quat. Naru. And quat. Sasuke gripped her shoulder firmly, and quat. Trust in him. If all else fails, he can use his eyes. He'll be alright. We need to focus on keeping Tazuna safe. And quat. Sakura nodded in agreement, and quat. We need to find a spot with better cover, come on. And quat. Sasuke, slightly stunned by Sakura's take charge attitude, nodded, grabbing Tazuna and making a beeline for the edge of the forest. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief as he saw the others retreat away, and focused his attention back onto Hiroki. The Kagaya boy smirked, and quat. So, you think you're hot stuff, huh? And quat. Naruto grinned. And quat. Why don't you come on and find out? Shadow clone jutsu. And quat. 4 Naruto clones popped into existence, and immediately shifted through hand seals, 2 of them leaping in the air and all yelling in sync, and quat. Fire style, majestic fire star rise, and quat. In the trees, Hikari and Sasuke deadpanned, and quat. Why the hell did you make the name so long? And quat. Hiroki's eyes widened as a massive flaming star blazed towards him, and he quickly dived out of the way to avoid getting hit. He growled as he rolled back to his feet, and quat. This kid's not half bad. And quat. Holding his fingers out flat at Naruto, the Kagaya sneered, and quat. Finger bullets. And quat. Naruto, throwing caution to the wind, leapt off of one of his clones into the air as the attack destroyed all 5 of his previous clones, and quat. Damn. So you are one of those Kagaya? This just got complicated. And quat. Hiroki smirked, extending his wrists, pulling out 2 bone blades before charging Naruto at high speed. Naruto gasped, quickly reaching for 2 kunai and clashing them with Hiroki's blades. Hiroki smirked, driving a knee into Naruto's gut followed by 2 quick slashes across the blonde's left leg. And quat. Shit. And quat. Naruto yelped as he spiraled away, desperate to put some distance between himself and the bone wielder. His efforts, however, were all for naught, as Before he could properly recompose himself, Hiroki was on top of him, once again clashing blades. But the time raising his other hand, more finger bullets forming. Naruto's eyes widened, but managed to escape by teleporting away to the safety of the kunai he'd thrown into the ground. Earlier, Naruto grabbed his neck and shoulder where a few of the finger bullets had hit him. Hiroki blinked, whirling around just in time to see Naruto pull out a scroll, wiping blood on it and summoning a black katana to his hand. The Kagaya licked his lips and quat, "Cute trick. But a fancy shunshin and a flimsy sword won't save you." And quat. Naruto smirked, and quat, "Flimsy? This sword was forged in Uzushiogakure, years before its untimely destruction. I may not be the most skilled in kenjutsu. But it'll be enough to take you down, Kagaya." And quat. Hiroki laughed, and quat, "If you say so." Now on guard. And quat. He quickly ran towards Naruto, firing off more finger bullets before leaping into the air with a slightly larger bone blade and slashing downwards. Naruto went through a few quick hand seals to counter the finger bullets swiftly, and quat. Wind style. Blustering winds. And quat. The high-speed gale clashed with the incoming bone fragments, halting their advance and causing them to fly away in random directions. Having promptly taken care of the projectiles, the Namikaze heir unsheathed the sword to reveal a cerulean-colored blade attached to a black and blue hit and a square guard, bringing it up to block the bone attack. He swore under his breath as Hiroki twisted in the air, kicking Naruto square in the face and sending him flying backward before he crashed into a tree. And quat. Damn, that hurt. And quat. Naruto muttered, drawing the blade back up and channeling chakra into it. And quat. Water style. Aqua slicer. And quat. 3 sharp blades of water soared at the other boy, who barely had enough time to move before the water attack demolished a nearby rock. Naruto swore again and quat. Geez, this guy's fast. He must be lowering his bone density temporarily to increase his speed. Tricky bastard. And quat. Snapping out of his thoughts, Naruto changed tactics and charged forward on the offensive, channeling fire chakra into his sword as he brought it down on the bone blade. And quat. Fire style. Dancing flame strike. And quat. To Hiroki's horror, the bone blade shattered upon impact, and Naruto's blade managed to slice open his chest partially. Using finger bullets to put mild distance between them, Hiroki clutched his chest gingerly. And quat. He knew I had to lower my bone density to move quickly. Damn him, he's perceptive. And quat. Taking a moment to readjust his body, Hiroki took note of Naruto's heavy breathing and quat. Seems like he's been using up too much chakra. I just need to stall him. And quat. Naruto growled in frustration and quat. High-level reserves my ass, dad. I shouldn't have so much trouble switching between elements with my Rinnegan active. I need to end this quick, or I really will have to use my other tricks. And quat. Taking a deep breath, Naruto created 3 more clones, pulling out his 4 remaining special kunai and throwing them around Hiroki in a square formation. The Kagaya flinched momentarily, which was all Naruto needed, sheathing his sword. Naruto and his clones flashed to the kunai, having already flown through the necessary hand seals. And quat. Fire style. Blazing box jutsu. And quat. And quat. Fuck. And quat. Hiroki roared, hastily bringing his bones to the surface as armor as the flames scorched any visible skin on his body. Naruto and his clones all leapt away, snagging the kunai on their way. And quat. Did I get him? And quat. Much to Naruto's horror, however, Hiroki growled from behind the wall of smoke and dying flames. And quat. That Hurt you insignificant little brat. And quat. Naruto blinked as the Kagaya walked out of the fire, his body visibly covered in bone armor. The Kagaya wasted no more time, quickly raising both hands and roaring, and quat. Finger bullets, and quat. Naruto froze, time slowing down in his mind and quat. No time to dodge. Oh man, this is going to suck. Diva path. Tunneling repulsion. And quat. Naruto focused his chakra into his Rinnegan, and a familiar feeling of power flooded his system as he held his hands out in front of him. An invisible force repelled the projectiles, forcing them back to an unsuspecting Hiroki, who barely had enough time to move as they came flying at him, getting hit in the arm and shattering the bone armor lodged there. And quat. What the hell was that? And quat. Hiroki mentally screamed, retracting the armor to bring his speed back up, and quat. He completely deflected and redirected my jutsu. That shouldn't be possible. And quat. Growling, Hiroki created several smaller bone blades, and began to throw them at Naruto at different angles, and quat. Bone kunai, and quat. Naruto once again focused on Hiroki's attack, and held out a hand, and quat. Divine rejection, and quat. The kunai were sent hurtling back at the Kagaya, who was unable to dodge them all, getting hit in several places along his torso. His cries of pain were silenced, however, when an unknown force suddenly jerked his body forward, and a mechanical cannon formed out of Naruto's right shoulder, charging up a blast of pure chakra that the blonde shot right into Hiroki's side. Hiroki howled in pain as he was flung backwards, clutching his charred stomach, and quat. If I hadn't hardened my bones in my chest, I would have been blown clean in two. What is this, kid? And quat. Naruto winced, grabbing his head. As, much to his displeasure, Hiroki got back up. And quat. Damn it. I really didn't want to have to do this. But you leave me now choice. And quat. With that, Naruto held out his hands to the side, and he began to float upwards into the air, stunning everyone on the battlefield. Kakashi and Zabuza paused in their fight, both shocked by the intense chakra presence that seemed to be radiating off of him. Glaring at the Kagaya, Naruto roared, and quat. Pillar of justice, and quat. Hiroki didn't even have time to blink before he felt that same incredible force slam him into the dirt, breaking almost every bone in his body and rendering him unconscious. Naruto landed back on the ground with a grunt, clutching his eyes before falling backwards and passing out. The next day, and quat. Ah, what the hell hit me? And quat. Naruto groaned as he slowly sat up. And quat. Naru, and quat. Hikari cried, tackling her brother in a tight hug. And quat. Easy Hikari, he needs room to breath. And quat. Sakura yelped, wrenching the redhead off of her brother. And quat. About time you woke up. And quat. Sasuke said with a smirk, although Naruto caught the flash of worry in the Uchiha's eyes. Naruto groaned again as he sat up fully. And quat. What the heck happened? And quat. Kakashi, also bedridden beside his student, sighed. And quat. We both overdid it. Although it's good you're awake. You gave us quite a scare. And quat. Naruto grimaced. And quat. Yeah. Happens when I use my eyes like that too much. And quat. Hikari glared at him. And quat. Damn straight. What were you thinking, Naru? One of us could have helped you. And quat. Naruto shivered as he remembered his battle. And quat. Honestly? He would have killed you before you could blink. He was a member of the Kagaya clan, one of the most feared in all of Kiri. Before they were wiped out, that is. And quat. Sasuke frowned. And quat. Wiped out. And quat. Kakashi nodded. And quat. Yes. The Kagaya clan, a group of savages, with a Kekai Genkai that could make your skin crawl. I didn't get a chance to see too much of your battle, Naruto. But I assume he could perform bone manipulation. And quat. Naruto nodded, and quat. Oh. Yeah. And he knew how to use it too. If it weren't for the Rinnegan, I doubt I could have killed him. And quat. Sakura cleared her throat, and quat. Actually, Naruto, and quat. Naruto narrowed his eyes, and quat. I did kill him, right? And quat. Kakashi sighed, and quat. No. Shortly after you finished your fight, I had Zabuza on the ropes, until a pair of Kiri Anbu came to drag both Zabuza and Hiroki's bodies away. And quat. Naruto blinked, and quat. Well shit, and quat. Sasuke raised a brow, and quat. You're familiar with their methods, and quat. The blonde nodded, and quat. Hell yeah, I am. They're supposed to dispose of the bodies on sight, and quat. Kakashi nodded, and quat. Exactly. In light of recent circumstances, this mission is now a rank, and I've sent a request to the village for backup. They should be here sometime today, if they travel at full speed. And quat. Naruto scratched his head. And quat. So as opposed to just escort detail, we're now doubling as bodyguards until we can deal with Zabuza's little gang. And quat. Hikari grinned, and quat. Pretty much. And quat. Naruto groaned once more, flopping back down on the futon. And quat. Wonderful. And quat. Tazuna poked his head through the door. And quat. Someone call me. And quat. Naruto pointed an accusing finger at him. And quat. This is your fault. You goddamn drunk. And quat. Tazuna shook his head. And quat. Whatever you say, brat. At least you're up and about. Tsunami was worried you'd actually died. And quat. Naruto blinked in confusion. And quat. Who? And quat. And quat. That'd be me. And quat. Said a soft female voice from behind her father. Tsunami was a pretty woman who looked to be in her late 20s or early 30s. She smiled warmly at Naruto. And quat. I'm glad to see you up. Would you like something to eat? And quat. 6 hours. Later, Asuma Sarutobi and his team arrived swiftly at the home of Tazuna, the urgency in Kakashi's message prompting the 4th Hokage to send the next available backup team to aid Team 7. He put out his cigarette and knocked on the door, which was opened slowly by Tsunami. And quat. Can I help you? And quat. Asuma nodded. And quat. We're the backup requested by Kakashi Hatake. And quat. Tsunami glanced at the man's headband, before nodding slowly and moving away from the door and opening it fully so they could enter. Asuma smiled warmly at her as he entered the house, motioning for Ino, Shikamaru and Choji to follow him in. As he entered the kitchen, he couldn't help but raise a brow at Kakashi and Naruto, the former holding crutches and the latter having his neck wrapped in bandages. And quat. You guys look like hell. And quat. Naruto groaned, rubbing his eyes. And quat. Please don't, Asuma-sensei. I feel dumb enough. And quat. Kakashi sighed. And quat. We both underestimated our opponents, Naruto. It happens. And quat. Sasuke huffed, folding his arms. And quat. Well, maybe if you'd let me actually fight with you, Naruto. And quat. The blonde shook his head. And quat. Kakashi-sensei needed your help more than I did. It would have gotten a lot more dicey if you and Hikari hadn't. Ouch. What the heck, Ino? And quat. Ino glared at him. And quat. Stop being reckless. You may be strong, but you're still a genin. And quat. Naruto held his head gingerly. And quat. Still doesn't mean you have to bash my skull in. Sakura giggled. And quat. Well, at least things are relatively normal. Ino and Naruto squabbling like an old married couple. And quat. Both blondes blushed, hiding their faces while muttering something about stupid pink-haired loudmouths. Sasuke snickered at his best friend's expense, but quickly returned his attention to the two Jonin, and quote, "So, how are we going to fight them?" And quote, Kakashi sighed, and quote, "They won't take us lightly next time." Zabuza was a lot stronger than I gave him credit for. If I hadn't have been able to psyche him out, the whole thing would have gone much differently. And quote, Naruto, blush now mostly gone, nodded in agreement. And quote, "That jerk I fought was toying with me when we fought. He won't make the same mistake again." And quote, Asuma scratched his beard in thought. Naruto's skills were well known throughout the Konoha Shinobi Corps, and it was no secret he could have already made Chunin, probably Jonin by now, years ago, so for him to be pushed so far, it was rather unnerving. Giving the Namikaze a cool look, he asked, and quote, "You went all out?" And quote, Naruto pinched the bridle of his nose. And quote, "Pretty much. It still wasn't enough though. I don't think I can beat that Kekkei Genkei." And quote, Shikamaru raised a brow, and quote, "What Kekkei Genkei?" And quote, Naruto cringed, and quote, "The dead bone pulse of the Kagaya clan." And quote, Asuma's eyes widened, and quote, "Seriously?" And quote, Naruto nodded, and quote, "Yeah, and he was extremely versatile with it. The only good news is that I don't think he's a very talented shinobi apart from that. But still." And quote, Kakashi frowned, and quote, "Then we need to do some training and prepare for them. Asuma, I assume you haven't worked on any chakra control exercises yet?" And quote, Asuma shook his head, and quote, "Not quite." "Why, you think it'd be better to do it as a group?" And quote, Kakashi shrugged, and quote, "Every little bit helps." And quote, Naruto quickly cut in, and quote, "I've already mastered the basic ones. If at all possible, I'd like to plant some of my marks on the bridge so we can prepare for a confrontation." And quote, Kakashi cleared his throat. And quote, "Perhaps this is talk for tomorrow. For now, let's show our kind host some respect." And quote, Naruto smiled at Tsunami, and got up to help her prepare dinner. At first she tried to convince him to rest a little more, but upon his insistence, accepted the help. Not wanting to seem rude, Sasuke got up to help Tazuna bring in a spare table so there would be room at the table to fit everyone. Sometime later, they all sat around the table enjoying the food and light conversation when a small boy walked in, glancing briefly at the people gathered in the house as Tsunami stood quickly, and quote, "Inari, where have you been? It's late." And quote, Inari frowned. And quote, "Out." And quote, Tazuna smiled at his grandson, and quote, "Come eat with us, Inari. These are the shinobi who are going to keep us safe from Gato and his men." And quote, Hikari grinned widely at the boy, and quote, "That's right. We're the heroes come to save the day." And quote, Inari glared at Hikari at the word heroes, something Naruto noted mentally, before snarling at her, and quote, "Heroes? Don't make me laugh. A bunch of kids like you can't do anything against Gato. You'll just die like everyone else. Heroes? What a joke." And quote, Hikari glared at him, and quote, "What did you say, you little brat?" And quote, before she could lunge at him, however, Sasuke and Sakura pinned her down, hissing at the Jinchuriki to behave herself and calm down. Inari glared at her one last time before turning on his heel and running out of the house, his mother calling out to him worriedly. Naruto downed the last of his stew and abruptly stood up, and quote, "Thank you for the meal, Tsunami. I think I'm gonna go see if the kid's okay. My sister can be kind of harsh." And quote, "That's mean, Naru." And quote, Hikari pouted, and Naruto just winked at her before making his way out of the house. Docks near Tazuna's house. Inari sat at the edge of the docks, his legs dangling over the side, sniffling as he thought about his deceased father. Thought you might be out here, Naruto said, sitting down next to the boy. Inari looked at him, startled, how? Naruto smiled softly at the boy, it's just one of those places. I have one back home in my village, Inari frowned, but nodded all the same, I see, Naruto nudged the boy, you wanna talk about it, Inari held back tears, yes, Naruto nodded, well, I'm in no hurry. Take your time, Inari began to tell Naruto the tale of his father, and the circumstances around his death. He'd never opened up like this to anyone, but something about Naruto made him feel safe. Once he finished his story, he had broken down into tears. Without a word, Naruto put a hand on the boy's head, ruffling his hair gently. After a while, Inari calmed down, and looked at Naruto, why are you being so nice to me? Naruto closed his eyes, because I know what it's like to lose faith in your hero. Not so long ago, my dad constantly ignored me. He always made time for my sisters, but left me high and dry. Then one day he said he was making my twin Hikari, the loudmouth redhead back there, the clan heir. I was really upset. So upset in fact, that for a little while I despised him with all my being. I lost my faith in my hero. Inari stared at him wide-eyed, what happened after that? Naruto grinned. I found the strength to forgive him, and ever since we've been really close. He even changed his mind and decided that I was more than worthy to be his heir. So you see, I understand how you feel. Of course, my dad's still alive, but the message is the same. You have to find the strength to forgive your father for leaving you without a hero. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll find a new hero, one who'll inspire you to become really strong. Inari's eyes widened even more as he stared at Naruto's smiling face, before his own cracked into a very small smile as well, I will, big brother Naruto. I promise. Naruto nodded, ruffling his hair once more, totally fine with Inari's nickname for him, good. Now come on, I bet you're hungry, right? Inari blushed as his stomach's loud growl answered for him, making Naruto laugh, okay then. Why don't you climb on my back? And I'll show you a shinobi way of getting from one place to the other. Inari nodded, gripping Naruto's shoulders tight as the blonde bent his knees and leapt into the trees nearby, the small boy on his back yelling, woohoo, the next morning, Tazuna's house, hey big brother Naruto, how come your eyes look like that? Inari asked curiously, sitting close to his side as they ate. Tsunami and Tazuna blinked and big brother Naruto, and Kakashi I smiled at his pupil and seems like Naruto's got a pretty amazing gift, bringing people out of their shells and inspiring them to become the best they can be. One conversation with a shattered boy, and said boy's a new person the next day, and Naruto tapped his chin thoughtfully, and well, you see it's a very rare gift that I was granted. I wasn't born with them though, they came later, and Inari's eyes widened, and then how did they look before? And Naruto winked. holding his hand in half-ram seal and casting the genjutsu on his eyes, changing them to a cerulean blue, and quote, just like this. I get 'em from my dad. And quote, the genin at the table all flinched at Naruto's mention of fathers, but oddly enough Inari just grinned, and quote, Mom says I get my eyes from my dad too. Right Mom? And quote, Tazuna and Tsunami's jaws dropped simultaneously and quote, did he just talk about his father? And quote, realizing she'd been asked a question, Tsunami quickly smiled at him. And quote, yes you did. And quote, Inari gave her a toothy grin, looking back at Naruto with pride. Naruto simply smiled, ruffling the boy's hair, and quote, that's pretty cool. Inari. And quote, Hikari gave the boy a somewhat jealous look, much to Kakashi's amusement, and poked her brother in the ribs, whispering in his ear, and quote, how'd you get that kid to do a complete 180? And quote, Naruto simply shrugged, grinning at her, and quote, I'm good like that. And quote, Sasuke snickered at the pout on Hikari's face, and quote, jealous much there, tomato head? And quote, Naruto froze. And so did Sasuke once he realized what he'd said. Hikari slowly turned her head towards him, her eyes blazing with a deadly fire and tick marks on her face, and quote, what did you just call me? And quote, Sasuke gulped, looking pleadingly around the table only to discover everyone had moved out of the danger zone. He chuckled nervously, and quote, now Hikari, no need to get upset, and quote, he never did finish his sentence, because the next thing anyone knew, Sasuke had been twisted around like a pretzel and stuffed in the corner, poor Inari traumatized and scarred for life. 1 hour later, the forest near Tazuna's Naruto carefully helped a beaten Sasuke into the clearing, making sure to steer completely clear of his sister for the time being. Kakashi and Asuma sweat dropped before the latter cleared his throat, and quote, all right kids, we're going to go ahead and get started with this special training. And quote, Shikamaru yawned, earning him a slap over the head from Ino, who said, and quote, what kind of special training? And quote, Kakashi I smiled, and quote, simple. You're going to climb trees. And quote, all the genin, save Naruto, deadpanned, and Sakura merely replied, and quote, and quote, trying not burst out laughing. Asuma looked at Naruto, and quote, care to demonstrate? And quote, Naruto nodded, and placed his hands in a ram seal, and quote, it's easy, really. Just channel chakra to your feet like so. And quote, with that he placed his hands in his pockets and walked over to the closest tree, casually walking up it as if it were the most natural thing in the world, showing off a bit by hanging upside down on the nearest branch and quote, see? Nothing to it. And quote, the other genin gaped at him, and Hikari folded her arms, and quote, show off, and quote, Naruto smirked at his sister before hopping down and walking over to the two senseis. Kakashi grinned, and quote, now then, each of you will need a kunai to practice with. It's highly unlikely you'll get very far on the first try. And quote, Naruto suppressed a laugh as he glanced at Sakura, and quote, she'll make them eat their words. I can already tell. And quote, taking out a kunai each, the 6 genin found their own trees and began to attempt the exercise. Naruto couldn't help but laugh out loud with Asuma when Hikari, Sasuke and Shikamaru immediately feel flat on their asses, blinking in total confusion. Choji did a little better, but not much. Same went for Ino, before she slipped and fell face first into the dirt below. Sakura, however, let out a triumphant cry as she reached the top branch of her tree. Naruto smirked and quote, just as I thought. and quat. Kakashi blinked in surprise. And quat. Well well well. Good job Sakura. And quat. Asuma nodded, and quat. Not bad at all. Excellent Chakra. Control. And quat. The other 5 genin all shot her looks of awe mixed with contempt. Kakashi grinned, and quat. Well then Sakura, looks like you can accompany Naruto to inspect the bridge with Tazuna, and quat. Sakura beamed at him, and quat. You got it sensei, and quat. Ino shot her a jealous look. And quat. Crafty little. Better keep her hands to herself. And quat. Hikari smirked at Ino and quat. Called it. And quat. Naruto grinned, and quat. Well alright then. Let's get going, I wanna set up my marks on the bridge. And quat. Unfinished bridge. 2 hours later Sakura giggled at an ecstatic Inari, who had perched himself on Naruto's shoulders, and quat. Man, this my grandpa's the best bridge builder ever. This is gonna be so cool when it's finished. And quat. Naruto laughed, and quat. I bet it will be Inari. I'll have to come visit when it's done. And quat. Sakura nodded with a smile, and quat. We all will. And quat. Inari grinned at her, and quat. Man, I can't wait. Once you beat all the bad guys we'll finally be free big brother Naruto. And quat. Naruto smiled softly, and quat. You bet your hat on that. Inari. I'll beat them black and blue and free everyone. Believe it. And quat. Sakura smiled fondly at the blonde, and quat. Where does he get that confidence from? It's so contagious too. And quat. Naruto came to a halt about halfway up the bridge, and looked around, and quat. Hey Sakura, you mind watching Inari for a second? I need to get my marks in position. And quat. Sakura nodded, kneeling down to chat with the boy, still slightly confused as to what these marks were. And quat. Hey Sakura. And quat. She glanced down at Inari, and quat. What is it buddy? And quat. And quat. Are you and Naruto dating? And quat. Sakura's face heated up so fast she got a little dizzy, and quat. What? No way. What on earth gave you that impression? And quat. Inari shrugged, and quat. I dunno. You guys just seem to like each other a lot. And quat. Sakura smiled at him, and quat. We're teammates Inari, that's a very special bond. Besides, Naruto likes a different girl. And I have my eyes set on a different guy. And quat. Inari nodded, and quat. I think I get it. Well, the next time you guys visit, I'll have a girlfriend of my own. And quat. Sakura giggled uncontrollably at the small boy, ruffling his hair. Naruto, who had just come back, raised a brow, and quat. All done. Let's go find your grandpa and make sure he's behaving himself, shall we? And quat. 4 hours later, Marketplace Sakura raised a brow at her teammate, and quat. You think I should try medical ninjutsu? And quat. Naruto shrugged. And quat. I don't see why not. You've definitely got the right mindset and set of skills for it. I can ask Granny Tsunade next time I see her for you. And quat. Sakura's eyes widened. And quat. Really? And quat. Naruto grinned, and quat. Well sure. As future Hokage, I want someone I can trust to take over for the old bird. And quat. Sakura grinned back, and quat. That would be totally amazing. Naruto, thank you. And quat. Naruto laughed, and quat. Honestly Sakura, it's not a problem. And quat. Naruto. However, suddenly sported a mild blush, and quat. By the way, if you don't mind, could you tell me more about Ino? Not that I'm too curious or anything, it's just Hikari won't tell me anything. And quat. Sakura grinned slyly at him, and quat. Is that right? Little ol' Naruto's got a Crush, and quat. Naruto huffed, folding her arms, and quat. Whatever, and quat. Sakura giggled, and quat. I'm only teasing you. But if you want to really impress her, then listen close, and quat. 3 days later, unfinished bridge and quat. So Naruto, why did you need to set up all your marks beforehand? And quat. Asuma asked as they leaned against the side of the bridge. Naruto sighed, pulling out one of his special kunai and spinning it in his hand, and quat. I may be able to use the Flying Thunder God, but only if my mark or my kunai are relatively still. I don't have the skill yet to teleport to a moving target. So to compensate for my lack of chakra reserves, my dad helped me design my own custom tags with my mark on it to teleport to. The only issue is that they're one use only, which is why I wanted to set up in advance. There are about 25 marks on the bridge, and the last 5 I had are on Tazuna, Tsunami and 3 key locations in the forest around their house. And quat. Asuma raised a brow, and quat. None on Inari, and quat. Naruto's lips twitched, and quat. Not exactly, but I've got that covered, don't worry, and quat. Asuma shrugged as Sakura came over to join them, and quat. Based on what I gathered from you and Kakashi, they should be coming back any day now, and quat. Naruto sighed, and quat. I know. Still, I think having your team deal with that Kaguya would be best. He's just too skilled and well versed in his clan's techniques for me to beat. But if Ino can get into that head of his, he's done for, and quat. Asuma scratched his beard, and quat. They'll need to be quick. I'm confident I'll end up having to finish the job. But I can't leave Kakashi alone for long. Not if there are 2 more we have to deal with, and quat. Naruto nodded. And quat. I'll keep them busy and figure out which one to take on myself, then I'll let Hikari and Sasuke deal with the other one. And quat. Sakura deflated a little, and quat. What about me? And quat. Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder, and quat. You'll need to keep an eye on Tazuna. After Ino, Shikamaru and Choji finish up, they'll take over for you and you can move to support Hikari and Sasuke. And quat. Sakura brightened up, and quat. Okay. I'll do my best. And quat. Asuma chuckled, and quat. Damn. Kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He and Shikamaru will make an absolutely deadly pair one day, I'm sure of it. And quat. Naruto suddenly tensed up, before saying, and quat. They're getting started, and quat. Before vanishing in a flash, immediately putting Asuma and Sakura on alert. Kakashi, Sasuke and Team 10 raced onto the bridge, Sasuke raising a brow, and quat. Where's Naruto? And quat. Sakura crinkled her brow, and quat. I'm not sure, he said it's already started. And quat. Kakashi growled, and quat. Yeah, they're on their way now. And quat. Ino gulped, and Asuma placed a firm hand on her shoulder, and quat. No matter what, nothing will happen to you guys. We'll give up our own lives before we let that happen. And quat. Sasuke pulled out a kunai and got into an offensive stance, and quat. Hurry up, Naruto. The fun better not start without you. And quat. Tazuna's home Tsunami screamed as she was thrown into the kitchen, the 2 samurai smirking down at her. Inari, who had been hiding in the pantry, suddenly gripped the kunai Naruto had given him, and charged out at them, screaming, and quat. Leave my mom alone. And quat. And quat. No. Inari. And quat. Tsunami screamed in horror as her son was brutally kicked aside by the shirtless samurai. He sneered, and quat. Just a kid? Whatever, it'll be fun to carve him up. And quat. Inari shook with fear, closing his eyes tight and screaming, and quat. Big brother Naruto. And quat. And quat. Get the hell away from them. And quat, Naruto roared as he flashed into existence, driving a knee straight into the face of the shirtless samurai before spinning around in mid-air and dropping his heel down on the head of the second mercenary. Inari gasped at Naruto's ferocious attack, quickly running to his mom as Naruto landed. Tsunami gripped Inari tight in her arms and cried in relief. Naruto growled at the downed samurai as they tried to stand up, only to be slammed back into the ground by Hikari. And quat, stay the hell down, you worthless pieces of trash. And quat, she growled, pinning their heads into the floor. Naruto grinned at his sister before turning around and placing a gentle hand on Inari's shoulder, drawing the boy's attention and saying kindly, and quat, you were really brave. Inari, sorry I was a little late, but the hero always arrives just in the nick of time, believe it. And quat, Hikari gave Inari a big smile, and quat, told you we were heroes. And quat, Inari grinned back at them, gripping the special kunai Naruto gave him in case of an emergency, and quat, I guess. You guys are my new heroes. And quat, Naruto laughed as he and his sister tied up the samurai, Hikari, placing paralyzing sealing tags on their foreheads before nodding to her brother. Naruto glanced back at Inari and gave him a thumbs up, and quat, you did really good, Inari, now we're gonna go honor your father's memory. And quat, as they flashed away, Inari's heart clenched tightly, and he quickly stood up, saying to his mother, and quat, I'm going to go and help them. If no one wants to fight with me, that's fine. But I can't leave big brother Naruto to fight without at least watching him. And quat, back at the bridge, Zabuza chuckled as he looked over the gathered Konoha shinobi. And quat, looks like you've brought backup this time, Kakashi. Although I don't see the Namikaze brat anywhere. And quat, Hiroki smirked, and quat, whatever. He's just scared 'cause he knows this time his little magic trick won't work. I'll kill him before he gets a chance to use it. And quat, Kakashi smirked. And quat, if you say so. He's just tying up a few loose ends. He'll be here. And quat, a bright flash of yellow light appeared in the center of the bridge, and Naruto quickly finished his sensei's sentence. And quat, in a flash. And quat, Sasuke face-palmed at the dramatic entrance, but Sakura couldn't help but feel slightly giddy as she subtly pulled Tazuna away from the others. Hikari leapt over to Sasuke, kunai already in her hands. Naruto narrowed his gaze on the fake Kirianbu before glancing at the Kaguya and smirking, and quat, I already took you down, you don't interest me anymore. Your masked friends, however. And quat, as Naruto trailed off, he unsheathed his sword, which he had already released at Tazuna's, and suddenly vanished in a flash, reappearing behind the taller of the two masked shinobi and driving a kick into the back of his head, sending said shinobi flying forwards. Zabuza and Hiroki quickly turned to engage him, but were cut short by Asuma and Kakashi, who began their own assaults, trusting Hikari and Sasuke to take on the one he had kicked. Naruto swiftly brought down his sword to block the other masked ninja, taken aback by their speed. And quat, holy fuck, that was fast. I barely had enough time to counter. And quat, the masked ninja recoiled in surprise. And quat, you actually deflected that. I'm impressed. And quat, Naruto scowled. And quat, I hate it when you bastards are stupid fast. Lightning style, precision electrocution. Charge. And quat, the masked ninja leapt backwards to avoid the lightning-charged blade, moving through hand signs at blinding speeds. And quat, ice style, icicle senbon. And quat, oh fuck me. And quat, Naruto muttered, quickly bringing up his blade to block as the ice-coated senbon flew at him, stabbing him in several places along the leg. Growling, Naruto created a few clones, each charging the next jutsu before he roared, and quat. Lightning style, Thunder Cannon Hydro. Devastator. And quat. The mysterious shinobi once again dodged the attack with relative ease, although the thought crossed their mind and quat. Does he have ridiculous names for all his jutsu? And quat. After landing out of a backflip, the shinobi gasped, not seeing Naruto anywhere. Purely on reflex, the shinobi whirled around and blocked a sword strike from the blonde, and quat. It seems your speed is nothing to laugh at. And quat. They were cut off as Naruto reared his head back and slammed their foreheads together and quat. Secret Uzumaki technique. Skull Crusher, and quat. The porcelain mask crumbled to nothingness, and revealed a boy? A girl? Naruto blinked a few times, looking the shinobi over, and quat. Wait, what? And quat. The shinobi sighed, and quat. My name is Haku. And I am a boy. And quat. Naruto shook his head, and quat. Thank God. So tell me, Haku, what's your special trick? And quat. Haku smirked, charging forward and clashing once more, using his senbon to hold Naruto in place, and he went through hand seals with one hand, something that utterly shocked and terrified Naruto, before quietly saying, and quat. Ice style, Ice senbon reflection, and quat. Naruto pushed Haku away just in time to deflect the incoming senbon, or so he thought. And quat. Ga, and quat. He roared as he felt several icicle sendon embed themselves in his back. His clones were not so lucky, and all poofed out of existence. Turning around to deflect the second wave, he once again felt his back shredded open by the attack, driving the blonde to his knees and quat. What the hell? And quat. Haku smirked and quat. Is this all you have, Naruto Namikaze? I was hoping for more. And quat. Naruto growled, standing back up and sheathing his sword and quat. I get it. He's using his ice as a reflective surface, so I can't tell which way the senbon are coming from. And I can't make them out in the damn mist. This is very not good. And quat. Shifting through more hand signs. Naruto crouched down and began to spin, and quat. Fire style, spinning Phoenix Blast. Bullets, and quat. Haku sweat dropped internally at yet another long name, until he saw the fireballs detonate, and quat. Good God, and quat. Haku thought with slight panic, leaping away to avoid the destruction, only to feel the cool metal of a blade slashing across his back. Haku gasped, leaping into the air and attaching himself to one of the support beams on the bridge. And quat. So fast. And quat. Naruto smirked below, wiping the blood off of his sword, and quat. Like it. It's my dad's technique. Flying Thunder God. I'm not as fast as he is. But luckily you've been playing right into my hands all along. And quat. To emphasize his point, Naruto flashed to Haku's right, slicing open the young man's side viciously. Haku grit his teeth, dropping down and backing up against the railing of the bridge, and began to weigh his options and quat. I could try and run. But he'd likely be on me before I could blink. Time to get creative then. And quat. With Team 10 Choji grunted as he was punted back across the bridge towards Ino, who rushed over to help him up. Shikamaru grit his teeth as the Kagaya boy gave them an unimpressed look, and quat. Seriously? This is all you guys have? I might as well kill you now and spare myself the effort. And quat. Shikamaru stole a glance at the boy's position, gritting his teeth and quat. Just a little more, damn it. And quat. He was brought out of his musings when a large explosion rocked the bridge, and Naruto came flying through the mist and right into Ino, who squeaked before slightly panicking, and quat. Naruto. And quat. The blonde Boy groaned loudly as he struggled to stand up, and quat. Fucking Yuki clan, and quat. Hiroki's eyes lit up, and he licked his lips with a sinister smirk, and quat. Namikaze, and quat. Haku leapt over to Hiroki's side, his face slashed in several places and his right leg scorched badly, and quat. Back the hell off, Kaguya, this guy is mine, and quat. Naruto coughed up a little blood, clutching his burned left arm, pulling a few senbon out of his right leg before refocusing on the two before them. And quat. Having a little trouble, and quat. Choji shook himself to shake off the shock and brought his eyes back to their enemies, and quat. Just a little bit. You, and quat. Naruto scoffed, and quat. What, my battered body isn't enough for you to tell, and quat. And quat. Not really, you're a tough son of a bitch, and quat. Yelled Sasuke as he joined them. Naruto raised a brow, and quat. Where's my sister? And quat. Sasuke punched his right shoulder, and quat. Relax, she's with Sakura and Tazuna. The guy we faced was a real pain to fight, and the only reason we beat him was because of the freakish number of shadow clones she can make. And quat. Naruto sighed in relief, and quat. How you doing on Chakra? And quat. Sasuke rolled his shoulders, and quat. Probably at about 60%, you. And quat. Naruto groaned as he pulled the final senbon out of his leg, and quat. Only 55%. We could try using our new combo. But we'd only get one shot, and quat. Sasuke nodded, and quat. That'll leave me with about 20%. Overall. And you at roughly 15%. Yeah, worth it. And quat. Naruto grinned, and quat. Shikamaru. We're going to get you that opening. Focus on the Kaguya, we'll handle Haku, and quat. Shikamaru glanced at them, and quat. Are you sure? And quat. Naruto nodded to him, and quat. Positive, now stand way the fuck back, and quat. After the trio did so, Sasuke activated his Sharingan and the pair blitzed through hand seals, before cocking their heads back and spewing forth flames at the two charging shinobi. And quat. Fire style, Grand Phoenix sweeping obliteration, and quat. Even through the thick and potent mist, everyone could see the gargantuan phoenix that rose into the air before crashing down on top of Haku and Kaguya, whose weak defenses eventually gave way and scorched the pair, although Haku managed to reflect a great deal of the initial impact with his ice mirrors. Hiroki, however, was not so lucky, and took the brunt of the fiery assault, searing his skin and frying his back right to the bones underneath. Zabuza paused in his battle with the two Jonin, wiping some blood out of his eyes, and quat. What on earth was that? And quat. Kakashi smirked, and quat. That was the power of the Naruto Sasuke combo. And quat. Asuma chuckled, spitting out his cigarette and smearing some blood on his cheek, and quat. Kakashi, I've got a feeling that they may need help. Can you handle this guy for now? And quat. Kakashi nodded, and quat. Just hurry back, we're all running low on chakra as it is, and quat. With a quick nod, Asuma leapt off towards his genin. Naruto fell to his knees panting heavily. And quat. That really takes it out of you. And quat. Sasuke quickly helped him to his feet, saying, and quat. We need to separate them before they can recover. Come on. And quat. Naruto nodded, glancing at the other three and saying, and quat. Good luck. When you've got him down, go tell Hikari to find us. And quat. Choji gave him a thumbs up, and quat. Go kick his ass, and quat. Naruto flashed over to Haku, kicking him hard across the bridge, before flashing back to Sasuke and once again flashing them towards Haku. Shikamaru fixed his gaze back on the struggling Kaguya, and quickly placed his hands in the rat seal, and shadow possession jutsu, and once Shikamaru's shadow grabbed the enemy. Ino kneeled down beside Shikamaru and pointed her family's signature seal at Hiroki and mind transfer jutsu, and Shikamaru quickly caught the girl and placed her gently down before turning to his best friend and get ready Choji, and Ino, in Hiroki's body, snapped her, his eyes open, and yelled, and I can't hold it for long, this guy's body is screaming in agony. I've lowered his bone density, I think. Wait till the last second to drop that shadow Shikamaru, and get in the air. Now Choji, and Choji nodded, and expansion jutsu, and his arms and legs now comfortably secure inside his expanded body, Choji rolled forward and bounced in the air over Hiroki's body, still spinning before dropping down quickly. Shikamaru and Ino both broke their jutsus at the last possible second, and a dazed and disoriented Hiroki had no time to react as his body was crushed violently by Choji, and human boulder, and Asuma grinned as he pocketed his trench knives and grabbed the two discarded bone blades before roaring, and get clear Choji, and once Choji had shrunk to his original size and leapt backwards, Asuma channeled chakra into the bone blades before slamming them down into Hiroki's shoulders, and fire style, burning spear jutsu, and Hiroki howled in pain, as his body was effectively pinned to the bridge, the burning spear setting his body on fire with each tiny movement. Asuma smirked and that should keep you still for a good long time. And he then looked up at his students, and go swap off with Sakura and Hikari, if she's there. You guys did real good, so go take a breather and watch Tazuna, and With that, the Jonin sprinted back towards where he'd left Kakashi and Zabuza. Needing no more encouragement, Team 10 dashed back to Sakura, Hikari and Tazuna. The girls looked up earnestly, and Hikari blurted out, and where are Naruto and Sasuke? And Shikamaru leaned down against the railing, pointing towards a certain spot in the mist, and that-a-way. They said to catch up, we'll watch Tazuna. And with a brisk nod, both girls sprinted away into the mist, and Ino clutched her chest and please be okay, Naruto. And Haku growled in frustration as Naruto and Sasuke kept using one another in small combo jutsus to dance around their opponent's Senbon barrage, throwing shuriken of their own to keep him on edge. And fine, if these punks want to die so badly, then I'll oblige them. And leaping into the air, Haku zipped through handseals before roaring. And ice style, crystal ice mirrors, and well shit, and Sasuke muttered as he and Naruto became trapped inside the dome of ice mirrors. Putting their backs together, Naruto gulped. And Sasuke my friend, we may be well and truly fucked. And Sasuke nodded unevenly, and what the hell is this anyway? And Haku's voice came from all around them, and you're deaf. I'll try to make it quick and painless. And as soon as the words left his mouth, Senbon shot out from every mirror, and the two chakra-deprived genin were powerless to stop them as they got hit by a large number between them, having barely deflected a third of the deadly attacks. And shit, and Naruto groaned, his vision blurring. Haku shook his head and I tried the easy way. But I'm not in the mood for games. I'm sorry, but it's time to die. And time for Sasuke seemed to slow as another barrage of Senbon flew towards them. Before the Uchiha even knew what had happened, Naruto threw himself on top of his best friend. Taking the Senbon strikes into his body at a lethal rate. And quat, Naruto, and quat, Sasuke roared, cradling the body of his best friend as Naruto smiled weakly at him. And quat, why you need to survive. Last of the Uchiha, and quat, Naruto replied weakly, before his eyes closed. And quat, Naruto, and quat, Sasuke roared, his Sharingan quivering before forming a third Tomo. He was cut short, however, by Haku, who promptly threw several Senbon into his body, causing the Uchiha to slump sideways, Naruto's body falling to the bridge beside him. Haku sighed, breaking his jutsu and landing a short distance away, looking sadly at the pair and quat. They had so much potential too. And quat, he was brought from his musings when a familiar female voice behind him called out in a confused voice, and quat, Haku, and quat. Slowly turning around, Haku's gaze softened ever so slightly, and quat, Hikari Namikaze, and quat. Hikari's brow crinkled, before she saw the lifeless form of her brother and his best friend. Sakura, who had just arrived, gasped and ran straight to the downed genin. She quickly pulled Senbon from non-vital areas, trying desperately to feel for a pulse. When she felt none, however, the girl couldn't stop the tears from falling. Hikari, however, completely zoned out, a deep dark hatred burning deep with her as she looked at Haku, her eyes turning to a deep crimson, her pupils slits as her skin darkened, her teeth forming into fangs and her hair becoming jagged and wild. In a fit of pure rage, Hikari roared at Haku, who was too paralyzed to dodge the fist that connected with his face, sending him flying. Kakashi and Asuma both flinched as they continued their fight with Zabuza, sharing a horrified look with one another. Asuma clenched his jaw, and quat, I thought Naruto was keeping her under control. And quat, Kakashi frowned, then gasped, and quat, oh no, and quat, Asuma's eyes widened. And quat, no way. And quat, Zabuza, meanwhile, felt a shiver go down his spine and quat, this terrible aura. Pure evil incarnate. No doubt about it, one of them is a Jinchuriki. And quat, Sakura became frozen in fear at the sight of her enraged teammate beating the life out of a virtually defenseless Haku. She was so distracted that she didn't even feel a body move beside her, until suddenly Sasuke was standing in front of Hikari, her claws digging into his left shoulder and his hand on the back of her neck, pulling her in for a tight hug and hoarsely saying into her ear, and quat, that's enough. Hikari, he's done. Naruto wouldn't want you to do this to yourself. Don't let it consume you. And quat. Slowly but surely, Hikari reverted back to her normal self, her eyes drooping as she collapsed into Sasuke's arms. Gently, he lay her down on the ground, before standing back up and driving his fist square into Haku's face, breaking the last remaining Yuki clan member's nose and knocking him out. Groaning in pain, Sasuke knelt beside Hikari, moving her against the railing. Before sitting back himself, Sakura rushing over, and quat, what was, and quat. Sasuke placed a hand on her shoulder, and quat, Sakura, remember this. No matter what you saw her do, Hikari is Hikari. She carries a terrible burden. One no single person should have to bear. But she's still our teammate, okay, and quat. Sakura gulped, but nodded her head, and quat, I understand, and quat. Sasuke smiled weakly at her, and quat, then make sure she's okay, will you? I'm going to get Naruto, and quat. Tears welled back up in the pink-haired girl's eyes, and she turned her head to check on Hikari. Sasuke grit his teeth as he staggered over to the body of his best friend, placing a firm hand on his shoulder, and quote, "You jerk. We were supposed to go together." And quote, "Not long after, the mist began to lift, revealing a battered Zabuza, arms bleeding and limp, blood soaking his torso, executioner's blade wedged in the ground a few feet from him. Kakashi and Asuma both sported heavy injuries themselves, but were clearly the victors of the match. Zabuza's eyes widened as he saw his two protégés laid out flat, his old squadmate, Jin Gachi, also tied up by the railing. And quote, well. Looks like your brats really did it, though not everyone's going home, I see." And quote, Kakashi's heart dropped as he spotted Naruto's prone form, a bloodied Sasuke crouching over him, and quote, "Damn it." And quote, "Naruto." And quote, Ino yelled, running over to him and skidding to a stop beside Sasuke, tears welling up in her eyes. Behind her, Shikamaru, Choji and Tazuna froze, the old bridge builder taking off his straw hat and holding it over his chest. Ino pushed a patch of bloody hair out of the boy's face, her tears flowing freely. Hikari, who had just woken up, trudged over to the others, kneeling down and hanging her head, crying silent tears and gripping Naruto's shirt tightly, and quote, "Naru, please." And quote, Asuma lit a cigarette, eyes fixing firmly on Zabuza. Before he could move in to finish the fight, however, the evil chuckle of Gato rang out over the bridge, and quote, "What's this, Zabuza?" Topped by a bunch of sniveling brats and their babysitters? "Ha! You ninja really are worthless." And quote, Zabuza's blood boiled as he looked at Gato and his small army of goons, and quote, "What the hell is this, Gato? We had an agreement." And quote, the short man scoffed, and quote, "Oh please, like I would ever honor a deal with scum like you. This was always the plan. I hoped you'd just kill each other off. But this suits me fine too." And quote, Zabuza growled, and quote, "You dirty son of a bitch. No one denies me my money." And quote, Hikari glared at the rogue shinobi, and quote, "What the hell is your problem? These guys were willing to die for you, and all you care about is the money?" And quote, Zabuza scoffed. And quote, "They were just useful tools to me. Nothing more." And quote, "That's bullshit. And you know it." And quote, came a weak voice. Zabuza whipped his head around to see Naruto steadily standing up, the other genin in pure shock, and he yanked the senbon out of his legs, making the former Kiri shinobi say, and quote, "Do you even know how to die, kid?" And quote, Naruto let out a short laugh, and quote, "Hell no. And don't change the subject. Tools? My ass. The way they fought. The determination they had in them. No sane person would harbor two kids, both the last of their clan, and in turn their bloodlines, and raise them into such powerful shinobi. You say you don't care? You're full of shit." And quote, Zabuza turned back around to face Gato, barely noting Naruto hobble over to the rogue, despite the protests of his friends. Zabuza looked over at Naruto and smirked. And quote, "You're a sharp one, punk. Tell you what, since we're clearly no longer enemies, lend me your kunai." And quote, Naruto nodded, tossing one which Zabuza caught in his teeth. Before he could rush the group, however, Naruto also unsheathed his sword, muttering, and quote, "No way in hell you're having all the fun, Momochi." And quote, Zabuza sneered as he turned back to face the mercenary force, his chakra flaring into its demon form, as Naruto unleashed as much killing intent as he could muster, his Rinnegan eyes striking fear into the hearts of the bandits as he yanked the last of the senbon out of his throat, and quote, "Let's do this." and quat. Without another word, the pair leapt into the mess of armed mercenaries, tearing apart the terrified men who couldn't believe their eyes as a man with no use of his arms and a boy with holes riddled in his body started slaying the men around them with reckless abandon, cutting a bloody swath through the offenders before they reached Gato. In a coordinated strike, the pair divided Gato's body into 3 separate pieces, pausing only to unleash even more bloodlust upon the remaining mercenaries, who cowered in fear and turned to run away, only to be stopped by Inari's arrow, the rest of the village's able-bodied men behind him. As he said, and quat, "This is your only warning. Drop your weapons. And never come back to our village." And quat. Not wasting a second, the rest of the mercenaries dropped their weapons and leapt over the side of the incomplete bridge, swimming to shore and taking off for the mountains. The villagers cheered loudly, picking up little Inari and praising his bravery, which caused Naruto to crack a small smile before he looked at Zabuza, who had plopped down and leaned against the railing. And quat. "What will you do now?" And quat. Zabuza gave him a pensive look, and quat. "I'm not sure. The whole point of this gig was to help pay for my next coup d'etat against the Mizukage. Yagura." And quat. Naruto deadpanned, and quat. "The civil war's been over for about 2 years now, Zabuza. Mei Terumi, the one who led the revolution, is the new Mizukage." And quat. Zabuza eyes widened, and quat. "But I never heard." And quat. Naruto sighed, wiping the blood off of his sword before sheathing it, and quat. "Well, technically I wasn't supposed to know that. Don't tell my dad I went through his stuff. He hates it when I do that." And quat. Zabuza laughed loudly, and quat. "You're something else, kid. I guess that only leaves me with one choice, huh?" And quat. Naruto shrugged. And quat. "Not really. You can do whatever you want. Technically we should kill you and grab the Yuki and Kagaya Keke Genkai while we can, but I dunno. I feel like one good deed always deserves another in some regard. Maybe you'll consider extending an alliance proposition with Konoha to the Mizukage." And quat. The rogue shook his head, and quat. "Sounds fair to me. You're an odd one, Naruto. Namikaze. Happy-go-lucky one second, cold-blooded killer the next." And quat. Naruto scoffed. And quat. "Please, I just wanted to stick it to that bastard. Although I think I'm going to pass out now." And quat. And with that, Naruto fell flat on his back, out like a light. 1 week later. And quat. "Don't go killing any more innocent people, got it?" And quat. Naruto said with a smirk as he and Kakashi said a final goodbye to Zabuza, Jin, Haku and Hiroki. And quat. "Peefed, like you could do anything about it." And quat. Zabuza smirked, motioning to Naruto's heavily bandaged body. Kakashi smiled, and quat. "I wouldn't take him lightly, you know. He's only just gotten started, so he'll surpass his father in no time." And quat. Hiroki smirked, and quat. "Good. Because next time we meet I want a rematch." And quat. Haku huffed, folding his arms, and quat. "Not before me. Our fight was getting really fun until he set off like 20 paper bombs in my face." And quat. Naruto chuckled, and quat. "Well, I had to get some distance somehow." And quat. And quat. "You fought extremely well. I am grateful you spared our lives." And quat. Jin said with a small smile. Kakashi placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, and quat. "Well, don't make us regret it. Anyway, we must be off. Good luck." And quat. Zabuza nodded, looking at Naruto with a pensive expression before pulling out a scroll and handing it to him. And quat. "A token of my appreciation, kid. Use it well." And quat. With that, the four shinobi turned to leave, walking out into the forest and fading from view. Kakashi spared a glance at Naruto and saying, "And what, are you okay?" "And what?" Naruto sighed. "And what? If you're talking about the massacre I aided in on the bridge, then yes, I'm fine. I'm not crazy, Kakashi-sensei. I just have a very clear view of justice. Those men, they kill children, rape women, steal from the poor. I dunno, I just wanted to make a point to Zabuza, I guess. He's still highly respected in Kiri, hopefully the Mizukage thinks so and will agree to an alliance with us when he proposes it." "And what?" Kakashi blinked. "And what? You mean that you dived headfirst into a horde of deadly cutthroats just to potentially win an alliance with Kiri?" "And what?" Naruto nodded. "And what? Of course. If I'm gonna be Hokage one day I gotta build my roots now." "And what?" Kakashi just stared at him for a moment, before bursting into laughter. "And what? You may look like your father, but you're definitely your own man, Naruto." "And what?" Naruto grinned. "And what? You know it." "And what?" Kakashi took a deep breath, recomposing himself before pointing to the scroll. "And what? What's in that?" "And what?" Naruto shrugged, unraveling the scroll. He raised a brow upon seeing it was a summoning scroll, and bit his thumb, smearing blood across it and grinning at what came out. A pair of twin sleek silver tomahawks with black leather grips and razor-sharp blades rested in Naruto's hands, and Kakashi could only smirk. "And what? Very fitting. Light, fast weapons for the fastest genin in Konoha." "And what?" Later that day, the now finished bridge Naruto stood next to Kakashi and Asuma as they bid the villagers farewell. Inari moved in front of Naruto and held out the kunai the blonde had given him. Naruto smiled and with slight pain leaned over to place a firm hand on the boy's head. "And what? I can't take that, Inari. It belongs with a real hero. You." "And what?" Inari teared up, which in turn made the genin also tear up a little, and he pulled the boy into a quick hug, saying, "And what? No more tears, Inari, you're a man now." "And what?" Inari sniffed and nodded, pulling away from Naruto and saying, "And what? You got it big, brother Naruto. The next time I see you, I'll be a real man." "And what?" Everyone laughed at that, and Naruto held out his fist, which the small boy returned with his own. "And what? It's a deal, kid." "And what?" Tazuna smiled fondly at the pair, and looked over the completed bridge. "And what? Now to name the blasted thing. Hey everyone. How does the great Naruto bridge sound?" "And what?" The roars of approval from the villagers was deafening, and Naruto blinked at him in surprise. "And what?" "Tazuna, I can't." "And what?" The old man held out a hand. "And what?" "Nonsense. You won't accept a reward for saving us from not only Gato and his goons, but those shinobi as well, so this is my compromise." "And what?" Hikari grinned at her brother. "And what? He looks so happy." "And what?" Indeed, Naruto's face had broken into a massive grin, and he extended his hand to Tazuna, which the old man shook eagerly. After a few more goodbyes, the Konoha group turned to leave, but not before Naruto and taken out a small green book and handed it to the boy. As they shinobi vanished into the high noon sun, Inari glanced down at the book and grinned at the title, "The Tales of an Utterly Gutsy Shinobi." On the inside of the front cover, there was a small message from Naruto that increased Inari's grin even more. "Inari, true heroes admit their faults, understand their shortcomings, but never, ever give up. Your big brother, Naruto Namikaze." The road back to Konoha. "And what? This is freaking humiliating." "And what?" Naruto muttered as Kakashi carried the blonde on his back. Hikari snickered, and quote, maybe next time you'll think twice before blowing yourself up, and quote. Sasuke shook his head as they leapt through the trees to increase their pace, and quote, seriously, what were you thinking? That by popping off 20 explosive tags you'd somehow manage to come up with a winning strategy? And quote. Naruto huffed and quote, well, sorry for trying. Seemed like a good idea at the time, and quote. Ino shook her head, and quote. Famous last words, Naruto, and quote. Shikamaru nodded. And quote. Still though, you seriously kicked ass, man. And quote. Asuma smirked, lighting a cigarette. And quote. I think Zabuza took a shine to you after you two slaughtered those hired grunts. And quote. Sakura shivered, and quote. Yeah, that was scary. You were like a man possessed. And quote. Kakashi laughed, and quote. All for the good of Konoha, right Naruto? And quote. Naruto grinned, and quote. Hell yeah, and quote. Hokage's office, after mission debrief. Minato sighed as he looked at his son, and quote. I thought I warned you not to go overboard, Naruto. And quote. The blonde scoffed. And quote. Please dad, I wouldn't have gone all out unless I thought I was gonna die. And quote. Kakashi sweat dropped, and quote. Still, your performance on the bridge concerns me. And quote. Minato nodded. And quote. Such bloodlust. It's not healthy. And quote. A tick mark formed on Naruto's forehead, and quote. I'm not insane, guys. I'm telling you. Zabuza's gonna go back to Kiri now that the civil war's over and join up again. And since he clearly thinks I'm his kind of shinobi, pretty sure he'll offer my suggestion to the new Mizukage. And also, since Kiri's still recovering and will need allies, there's no real reason Mei Terumi wouldn't at least offer some sort of olive branch. And quote. Minato chuckled, and quote. Of course. Just like you to think 3 steps ahead, Naruto. And quote. Kakashi shook his head, and quote. Definitely your son, sensei. And quote. And quote. Indeed. However, I think you'd better get home, Naruto. You're going to have to face your mother eventually, and quote. Minato said with a smile. Naruto, however, began to shake uncontrollably, pure terror reflected in his eyes, as he said weakly, and quote. Oops, and quote. That's the end, guys. If you enjoyed, then like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. This is Maelstrom signing off.